Yeah.
And hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. How the heck are you? I am, if you haven't guessed by now, Diana Clarion, the Lavender Lady, and we are here with Coffee with Lavender. Yay, 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 yay. And here with us, as is many times in the past, present, and future, I hope, is my right hand, my co-pilot, the one, the only, the brilliant, the beautiful Kate Farr, Bionic Dance. How are you, dear?
I am more awake than usual, is how I am.
Oh, okay. What do we owe this?
Well, I suppose number one, I got up way earlier than I intended, and number two, I am very, very caffeinated. So that helps.
Okay then. And
Yar.
as long as we're into the introductions and everything else, there is along the starboard side of the fuselage a seat reserved for the chief engineer and navigator, Mom NATO.
Hi,
Hi.
guys. How are you today? I'm a little scratchy this morning.
Boy, you sound.
Uh,
Yeah, you doing all right there?
you have the
Yeah,
plague.
no, I don't have the plague. This is a reaction to my allergies. My nose is all stuffed up and my sinuses are draining, so I start to sound like a frog.
Ribbit. Okay then.
Oh,
Oh,
Your
yes.
your
speaking of.
your
You
your
know,
sinuses are stuffed up.
Yes,
yeah.
speaking of,
Okay.
it was on Facebook, I think, that I saw the post. Was somebody eating frog's legs while they were still
Oh, yeah.
attached to the frog that was still alive?
I had
Oh,
not noticed that.
gross.
Was it the same like Asian chick who tried to eat an octopus?
I don't know offhand. I really don't. I don't remember what her face looked like, and I don't know if I could compare it against the face of the girl I saw. It was a girl eating this frog and smiling about
Why?
it. And it's like, holy shit, man. Uh,
Just,
I
just,
mean,
just,
it is so twisted to eat an animal while it's still alive, where it's
yeah,
like feeling
right.
every bite. How that's got to be like
mm,
some sort of animal cruelty law breaking stunt.
Mhm. So,
and at the also in the plexiglass nose of our Coffee with Lavender aircraft at the Norden bomb site, we have our bombardier Tornado Pelt. Hi.
oh, did he log in?
I heard him.
It's not in the
Hold
chat,
on. I gotta send him the information.
but
Why?
I've always well, I mean, speaking as someone who's left-handed, I've always hated the word port. Because starboard sounds so cool. It's got star right in the name. Port sounds like something after which one must wipe.
Yeah,
Port.
Port is also a
So I mean,
wine.
and of course they give left the ugly sounding name. It's not fair.
I know it's icky. Um,
Yeah.
I'm one of those who doesn't have a left hand that's worth much of anything, so I kind of feel bad about that as well. The one thing I did do for a long time, and I haven't done
Yeah.
in a long time, and I'm going to have to do it again someday. Um, I have the ear studs, and I have a pair, of fake emerald and a pair of fake ruby, and I'd wear a ruby
Oh,
in,
you're going with this.
huh, and anybody who got it got a cookie. Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Well,
Fake
I don't
Ruby.
know. I mean, I would get it if I noticed. I probably wouldn't be looking.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I just got it, but I
Uh huh.
mean, like if we met in person and you were doing that and I wasn't looking at your ears, I probably never would have got it just because I never would have noticed.
Yeah, it's usually the earlobes are hiding under the hair and all that other stuff and
Mm,
everything. The other one is to add a clear pendant. The headlight, if you will, the
mm.
forward vision light, but that's another story entirely. Um, Yay.
Right.
I I went out. I my found out that my phone is my cell phone that I had currently is going to stop working in January.
Oh no, what?
So
On
Why?
purpose?
because the new networks that they're coming out with are not going to function with my old phone.
Oh,
So
hell.
I went
Oh
to
jeez.
my service provider and found a reconditioned Samsung Galaxy J3 for $20.
I don't know the J3 model.
Huh?
I don't know the J3 model. I have a Galaxy S9, but I don't know what the hell J is.
I don't know, but it's a bigger phone and it's a newer phone. Um, but it has a mobile hotspot and stuff. You can hear it.
I
I
got a
was
mobile
Okay, so
hotspot.
now
You
you've
know,
got me wondering. Now wait a minute. The new network you're saying that's coming out, that for
the 5G
yeah,
networks. Yeah.
for everybody everywhere, that's the first of
It
January.
has the old phones. Well, no, some of them will still function, but my phone was a Moto E, which is a really old model. I
that
mean,
Okay,
Motorola sucks.
okay, because
by Motorola, it was so old that it was they will still work, but you'll start getting dropped calls, missed calls, that kind of thing.
okay, because yeah, this
Well,
is why I'm wondering. I have an old Android that I got through the government phone program, and it would be just my luck if it would quit working, and then I would have to go
No,
through all
I'm
kinds of
pretty
shit
sure the
to.
government will ship you a new phone.
Boy, oh, you're a
Maybe.
trusting
We'll
soul,
see.
yeah,
aren't
the way
Yeah.
you?
they ship you a new
Yeah.
stimulus check, eh?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
still waiting for that
Well,
damn
but
stimulus
I'm
check.
still waiting for mine too. So, anyway,
I
I got the
got
phone, but
mine.
I was able to transfer my service from the old phone to the new phone. So it only cost me $20 to get this phone. And it has a mobile hotspot on it, which it didn't have on my other phone. It even plays Pokemon Go, so I can wander around the local area
Hey.
and play Pokemon Go because I have unlimited text talk and data.
Uh,
So for $20 a month.
well, planned obsolescence sucks so much ass. They like Hulu decided to deprecate a bunch of Blu-ray players, including mine. So now I can't play Hulu on my fucking Blu-ray player. And but if I try to watch it through a browser on my computer, the sound is so quiet. You can barely hear it even with the speakers cranked. And should anything on my PC happen to make noise while the speakers are cranked, it might as well be a nuclear explosion in my head. It's very
Hmm.
frustrating.
I'll have to
And
see if Hulu will play on my
and
Blu-ray player now.
and speaking
Hmm.
of quiet, you guys in the audience, how are you hearing me? By the way, is it any better after I made an adjustment or two, or?
I assume it'd be a lot better if they can't hear. No, I'll just be over here.
Okay, my audio is still very low. Okay, um, I want to be careful that I don't blow this thing way the hell out of proportion. Um, yeah.
Sorry,
Oh,
I
thank you,
just I,
Dave. More
I
decibels
apparently have
needed.
a filthier mind than usual today.
I don't know here. Some people. Let's see what we can do with
One of the
the.
reasons why Masuka is my favorite
Okay,
character
here.
on Dexter because he's so unashamedly prurient.
Whoa. Okay, this may or may not have. What the heck? This thing is just adjusting itself downward all by itself. Oh, is it good now? Okay, so I'm going to hope it stays there, but it looks like it's not staying there for some reason. Um,
Mm, I have that issue sometimes too. If I'm going to be like recording a YouTube video, my first shot might almost always be ruined simply because my computer automatically turns down my microphone sometimes,
yes.
and it's
Mm-hmm.
entirely freaking random.
Yeah.
I cannot find a cause for it.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
I.
right now it's at 76. It's supposed to be at 94, which is where I put it. And then it just resets itself into the 70s. And I hated the 70s disco and collars. Ugh.
Shaya. 76 decibels on the big reset. No, anyway. Um, Yeah, we'll see how this has an automatic gain control on it, but I don't know how to override it. I can't find a thing, and I've looked around everywhere, and well, maybe not everywhere. I don't know. I haven't looked at my underwear, but nobody seems to know how to disable this automatic gain control. I'd really, really, really like to be able to do it, but we'll see what happens. It's plagued me as
Well,
long as I've had Ubuntu.
That's one of the problems with just about everything on computers these days is that the developers think they know better than you how
Yeah.
you want your system to function.
Yeah.
It's like Windows. I had to go into the registry and tweak something to fix this, but Windows has this tendency to go, oh, let me look at the files in this particular folder. Well, there's a lot of very similar files in this folder, so I'm going to reconfigure it for you based on those files. And I'm like,
Oh
no, you're
my.
not.
Oh
No.
my.
I put it in a certain configuration. I want it to stay in that configuration. But Windows is like, nah. You get a bunch of MP3s in here, and we know what that folder should look like. And I'm like, no, you fucking don't. So,
Oh God, what
I
that
had
would do to my stuff.
resetting it until finally I started asking for solutions. And people were like, yes, there's a way to override that. You open like your I forget what it is now. Your registry, and with this editor, you open this thing, and then this sub menu, and then this sub menu, and this sub menu, and then you go to this file here, double click it, edit it, and you have to find a very specific bit of hex code, and then Windows will stop fucking with you.
Okay,
And I'm
yeah.
like, don't you think this little auto detect feature of theirs would be something you could turn off?
One would think, but
And
unfortunately.
then it's like there's so many other things in Windows 10 now. If there's a Windows update, it will reboot you with or without your consent.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I'm in the middle of something. It's one of the reasons I don't want to use Windows 10 for a render farm is because I might be in the middle of a render and it decides, oh, you're rebooting now, and I'll lose so much work.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
I did something to render overnight, and I come back, and I'm like, you stopped at like 12:30 a.m.? No. This was supposed to keep going. But
Yeah.
Windows, I mean, they could just as easily have said, okay, the next time you reboot manually, we will be installing updates, but we're not going to shut off your computer in the middle of shit you're doing. I mean, oh, it's so frustrating. And you think somewhere, probably Phil at the back of the room going, guys,
Yeah.
everyone's like, shut up, Phil. We know better than these proles, these Luddites, how to make their computers work. And it's just so
my.
frustrating.
Speaking of, you piqued my curiosity a little bit. You had mentioned Blender at one point. Have you looked at it or anything, or have you just not had the time? Or?
What I've decided is that when I've finally finished my Quinn Redshift project, I will look at Blender.
Oh, okay.
Because it's probably for the best to not change horses midstream.
Oh, of course, absolutely. I'm with you, 1,000% on that. I was just curious because I looked at Blender a while back, and oh my God, the learning curve.
Yeah, well, and what's even worse is being used to a different system and trying to get used to how to do the same things in because often they'll have a different paradigm, a different idea of how to do things, so it's like I'll be looking for a certain function and not finding it, and people will be like, oh yeah, that is accomplished in this radically different way that you never in a million years would have suspected works that way at all. And I'm like, oh, well, okay. It's like, I need a good analogy here. It's like, imagine trying to, you've been driving automatic your entire life, and then someone puts you in charge of a car that's manual. And you're like, how the
Mhm.
hell do I do this, that, or the other thing? And it's like, oh, you got to shift gears. You mean it doesn't do it for you? But then, like, I've heard people who've driven stick all their lives sitting in, like, the driver's seat of an automatic car going, it just doesn't feel right sitting here and not participating. I'm like, you're aiming the car and controlling its speed. How much more do you have to fucking do?
Yeah, well, actually, what we have here is sort of like this. No?
Sorry, I have the. What are you? You're holding up a dime?
Okay, and what we have is, yeah.
I don't get it
Okay,
at
I
all.
have two dimes here. It's a paradigm shift.
Oh,
I know when I have to
man.
explain it, it's not that great a joke, is it?
Well, it doesn't help that when because I'm doing my hair right now, so I can appear on camera. I'm looking at that, and so when I clicked onto the screen, you were holding the dimes in such a way that I could only see one of them.
Okay, then, yeah, well, holding the two of them in my fingers is kind of difficult too, so that's kind of.
Yeah, well,
I never said I was an expert at humor.
yeah. Well, I'm really good at being funny as long as I'm not hiding my face.
Ah, okay then. Now, Hans has something to say here. Something is a fork of blender that might help some called B4 Artist, mostly GUI changes. Hmm.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I
These are
played
my
with
notes
Blender
annoying.
for like an hour and said, "How the frick do I do this really simple thing?" And like couldn't find it. And then, like I said, I finally found the thing to do it, and it was nothing like how you do it in Max. And I was like, "Oh, this is gonna take some getting used to." Like there's no way I can just swap everything over to Blender and use it the same way just with a different system. It's just not going to happen.
Mm-hmm. And let me
So
guess, even the formats of the various files you use, I take it, are completely different?
well, obviously Blender has its own native format, but you can import things from other formats. That's not a problem. No, the
Okay.
problem is that, like, for example, if I want to rig a character for movement with like a virtual skeleton, that is completely friggin' different.
Mm-hmm.
Even just the way the screen is set up is completely different. Like, I couldn't figure out how to have like the front, left, and top screens to be able to work with. Like, apparently you can't have a 4-panel setup, or if you can, they hid the option really well. So I mean, it's just I
Hello.
don't know.
Balkonleki. Yes, anyway, I have no idea what I'm saying. Oh
Mm,
my.
I know what I was saying. I was saying blah 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 blah.
That's it.
Yeah, it's just my like generic default. I have no idea what the frick is going on sound.
Okay then.
Blah. It's like halfway between baby talk and having been hit on the head with something.
Okay there. Yeah, I like that. That works.
Or maybe halfway between I just woke up, leave me alone, and being hit on the head with something.
Oh my, oh my. Next thing you know, Kate's going to be striking for better wages.
Yeah, that I don't think is going to work. Well, what? Like, go to my Patreon patrons. I'm not making any more videos unless every last one of you makes your donation $1 higher.
There you
Yeah,
are. Yeah, that's going to work. Yeah.
totally gonna happen. Right. Oh shit. Hold on. I gotta Xander, get out of there.
Oh
Get out.
no, now what?
Out. Out, you little butt munch. He was crawling around in my fucking green screen. I'm
Oh
like,
no, 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 we can't
use
do
your
that.
claws on that, you may destroy mommy's nest egg.
Uh,
Xander, do I have to do a? Oh, there you go. Now you understand.
oh, what'd you
Uh,
do? Reach for the air can?
yes, I did, and he knows that if I do that, run the fuck away. 'Cause I mean, like even better than the water bottle, the compressed air can, it makes a much better hiss, and it also like he feels it more than he feels the water bottle because there have been times he's so determined to do whatever mischief he's doing that I've soaked him down with the spray bottle and he just won't knock it off. But if I hit him with the compressed air can, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm out of here."
Okay,
So,
then. Yeah.
yeah. Xander,
Oh my. I suppose that one of these days I may have to try that on the little one. Yeah, she's very determined. If she wants something, she's going to have it no matter what. And what I've been able to do so far is get her to recognize, okay, yeah, this is something the human doesn't want me to do. So I'll only do it while she's not looking.
yeah, that's Xander and counters. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it before the show started. I woke up this morning and found every last bit of what I keep on the sink, like toothpaste and hairbrushes and hair gunk and all that stuff, everywhere. Like one of the cats, I'm assuming Xander, had gotten onto the bathroom counter, the sink, and like decided to knock over every damn thing. And so now I kind of want to murder him.
Oh my, I don't know. Just don't film it and post it to YouTube. Okay, just don't do that.
It's one way to get some notoriety on this stupid internet.
Yeah, notoriety is about the way it works. They'll pay
Well,
it.
okay,
They'll pay attention.
do you remember the angry German gamer kid? Where like he was yelling at the screen and smashing his keyboard and stuff. Do you remember that? It was like a decade
Yeah,
ago.
I think maybe.
Well, the guy who did that, like later did this article about how it ruined his life. That bit of video. I
Hmm.
mean, number one, he says it was a prank. That he was never that angry. But people like teased him about it, and he couldn't go anywhere on the internet and all this stuff, and it just like completely ruined his life. This little prank. Um, I mean, he's like attempted suicide multiple times because of the abuse heaped down upon
Holy
him by
shit,
the
that bad.
well, I mean, it's the same thing with people who've been like actors who have played despised characters. The kid who played Joffrey on Game of Thrones. I mean, he played this evil kid so well that people hated on the actor for it. And he's like, dude, it was a character I played. That's not really me. You
Now
know, but
that's the one. Yeah, that's the thing that really amazes me.
quit acting because of the abuse he got for playing that character so well. It's the same thing with Jake Lloyd when he played young Anakin Skywalker in The Phantom Menace. People gave him so much crap he actually had to like leave school because of his classmates giving him so much crap for being Anakin.
No,
And like now he's gotten into like some criminal shit and like drugs and all this stuff just because it ruined his life.
this is the thing that really gets me. The mindset that does that. The people who equate the actor and the character. What kind of mindset does that take? Are these people living in a constant fantasy world, or are they? Are they? I hate to say it, but developmentally arrested somehow. Where my understanding is that maybe a very, 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 very young child might not be able to tell the difference between the department store Santa and the guy who's playing the department store Santa. But you outgrow that at some point, don't you? Usually.
Well, you'd think, but the problem is that humans are extraordinarily stupid animals.
Well, you got that right.
And look around you right now at people's behavior because of this stupid plague. People are dumb. And the fact that people can't separate that, I don't think it has anything to do with being developmentally damaged. I think it has to do with people are that stupid. And I mean, it's like people can compartmentalize their like, I guess, prejudices, ideals, ideas, paradigms, all that stuff, where it's like the smartest person in the world who like comes up with this amazing invention might also be a rabid and screaming fundy. You know, it's like you get when you argue with theists, you get a lot of people saying, "Hey, look at all these like really amazing developments created by Christians," and it's like, yeah, but like there's nothing about being a Christian that helped invent this like new field of physics or whatever the fuck ever. In fact, you pretty much have to compartmentalize because the thing they discovered is kind of an argument against your stupid God, you know, but people, it's kind of like trying to explain, you know, atheism is just me not being one of yous, and it's not like an all-encompassing worldview the way your religion is to you. But people just cannot fathom that like there has to be this God-shaped hole in your life that is filled with something, and that something is your quote-unquote lifestyle. They're always saying the atheist lifestyle, like there's something about atheism, like we have our own scripture, our own dogma, our own doctrine.
Well, of course we do. I mean, the what the heck is it? The God delusion. That's our Bible.
Yes, and our Pope of atheism. It's like they just don't get that being an atheist is not even like being in a religion. And so the idea that someone can compartmentalize their beliefs doesn't shock me at all.
Well,
you know, so if you get someone thinking the actor is the same as the character, it doesn't shock me at all, because people can be that kind of idiotic.
I mean, when you mention this,
maybe there's even more logic to that. Maybe they're saying, hey, if you can play that character that well, then you must be like that character. You know, like that.
Okay.
That evildoer has to be part of you.
Oh wow, that would be an interesting tack to take. I mean, when I'm looking at it, I'm not that sure that kind of person could play that kind of person. But I can see the person thinking that. Yeah. I mean, could Donald Trump play Donald Trump? I'm not sure that he could.
Really?
In other words, play that character as an act. I don't know that he knows how to make that character an act. Whereas Patrick Stewart may or may not be able to play a decent Donald Trump, because you can see the difference.
Okay. So, unless I'm misunderstanding you, it sounds like you're saying nobody can play Donald Trump as a character.
Pretty much.
I don't know. I mean, like if I were to write my own dialogue, I'm sure I could play myself.
Okay. I don't know whether I
but
could
if
or
someone
not.
else tried to write my dialogue, I'd be like, I would never say that way, ever. Or I might not even say that at all.
Alrighty. Now, there's this rather strange name that came up on my screen.
Some sort of
I believe
demented internet polyp.
Yeah, I believe it's a strange name attached to a rather strange person. Hi!
Hey, I'm not strange.
Okay, so how you doing there, tomato in a junkyard?
Well, actually, I'm playing Terraria. The new update came out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the 1.4 Journey's End update, the final update to the game.
Yeah, I've never played Terraria.
Terraria, does that have anything to do with like a glass box with dirt in it and maybe a lizard or something? Or
If
I
it's the
guess.
one I'm thinking of, it's remarkably like Creatura.
okay, I was wondering kind of that.
Well, it's less like Creatura and more like. Okay, imagine a game that's like 2D 2D Minecraft.
Sure.
Okay, I'm actually
Well,
not all that
2D
familiar.
Minecraft, except you got a lot more bosses, and you've also got magical items
That's
and
not
a
the
whole
game
bunch of
I'm thinking of.
NPCs.
Oh, who is
Here,
this?
I'll shoot you the linky for it.
No, I'm looking at it right now.
Now, where's this face? Who
Oh, I
belongs
see
to
the
that
one you're
face?
talking about. Okay. I don't know what one I was thinking of, but it ain't this.
Okay, then.
And also, there's apparently a lot of fan art of the zoologist now.
Okay.
She's one of the latest NPCs to come out of Terraria, and, well, there's a lot of people who have decided it's a good idea to lewd her. And that's all I'm going to say.
Well, it
Oh.
doesn't shock me. Rule 34.
Yes,
No, wait.
yeah.
Rule 34. Wait. Maybe Rule 34 is the one where you gender swap someone. I can't remember.
No, that's Rule 63.
Okay.
I think
So,
it's
Rule
34.
is an
Yes.
internet meme and slang that states that as a rule, internet pornography exists concerning every conceivable. Okay, so I was right. It was Rule 34. All right.
There's also a Rule 63. I didn't realize that.
There's a rule for every damn thing.
So
But yeah, Rule 64, Rule 34 is basically if it exists, there is porn of it.
Yeah, I wonder if there's something similar where it's like, if you get at all famous on the internet, someone somewhere has masturbated to you.
Oh God.
I mean, I'm sure there's someone out there in Bionic Dance Land who has punched the cobra to me.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay.
That's become its own little meme.
Yes.
Well, you're never living it down.
I know.
We won't let you live it down.
It's like, when will that meme die?
Well, okay,
When the
I can
entire
tell you
world
this
does.
much. It will never, ever, ever die as long as you bitch about it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing I've noticed is, if you show people either that it doesn't bother you or even that it amuses the hell out of you, they'll stop. Like for a good long time, I'm sure I've shown you guys the Rocket Girl tattoo. Have
Yeah,
I described the origin of that?
Yes, you have.
'Cause
Yes.
it was, for those who don't know, it's kind of a sex thing. And for a while, people were calling me that. And I figured, most people who hear it without hearing the origin will think it's a sci-fi thing or an I love space travel thing. And it does sound kind of cool, Rocket Girl, so I decided to embrace it. And people stopped, trying to use it to needle me.
You're
Okay.
like, yeah, I like sci-fi. What's your problem?
Yeah, but it's actually a reference to a certain brand of lube.
Oh. Oh my.
Yeah, well, I had this ex who really liked Astroglide, despite the fact that it's usually more popular with gay men. And when I mentioned that on a sci-fi board I was on, people said, "So we're calling you Rocket Girl from now on, just so you know." And I changed my username to that because I figure I might as well own it.
Speaking of changing, interesting avatar you've got now. Twitter avatar. You don't have the old. You don't have the shield anymore.
Star Wars looking one.
Yeah, did you start that this morning?
No, it's been at least a week.
Or at least so I wasn't looking closely. Okay.
Yeah, but I also changed my Twitter screen name.
Yes, to something just totally unpronounceable.
Well, I don't know if you've been following it, but Elon Musk just had a child
Yeah.
and decided to give that child a really fucked up name with like Greek characters in it, numbers in it, and stuff. And I figured I'd make fun of that with my
Oh
username.
damn! What?
But also, it turns out there may be some controversy surrounding that. It turns out that California birth certificates only have allowances for letters. You can't have Greek characters. You can't have numbers. It's not allowed.
What? That's discriminatory. Oh.
Well, I mean, and it might just be that they don't have the ability to put it on the form.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe the computer won't even accept that input right there. But whatever the reason, he may have to not leave that as his child's name.
Okay then.
Oh, is it like alpha, beta, gamma, epsilon, something like that?
No, it was like X and that weird AE character 12 or some shit.
Yeah,
It,
I don't
like,
That's what I wanted to name it.
find it. Give me a sec. Elon Musk child name. Yeah. Let me see if I can actually cut and paste this. There it is.
Good luck.
This is the copy, and then into the chat paste. There it is. That is his child's fucking name.
Oh yeah, I would be really, really thrilled with that until I reached the age of majority and ran down to the courthouse to get it changed. Yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, I have to wonder what people are thinking these days, where they look at a small, helpless, cooing little newborn and go, aha, I know what your name's going to be. And they give them the most fucked up names there are. And I mean, maybe part of it is just that I was in the goth scene for a good long time and everyone was giving their kids weird names. But it just seems like it's also a generational thing that everyone from Gen X on decided I'm going to name my kids something other than Mike or Julie.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of a tendency to that in the early stages of my generation. The hippified people in my age group, yeah, they started doing some of that weird name shit. Well, I mean, look at Zappa, for Christ's sake.
Well, yes.
He named his kid Dweezil. And,
I know, right?
Moon Unit.
And Moon,
you know?
yes.
And he's got...
But the thing is, though, that's more Zappa than anything else. That was, like, not the rule the way it is now. You know, because like I have friends whose kids are named things like Xerxes and Armin and Gideon and all this stuff. I'm just like, really, guys? Really?
Yeah.
Also, I think I have a better way of pronouncing it. They basically call him Zy Blackbird.
Huh?
Sure.
My dear friend who died a couple of years ago, named her kid Gideon before it was cool, and yeah, he went through some interesting shit. But okay, damn good thing we never got anywhere because God, she went loopy. But that's another story.
And you know the weird thing is that the guy, like the father of this Xerxes kid, I don't even know his real name. Everyone just called him Monkey.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, there are some people in the Seattle goth scene who, like, they're only called by maybe their DJ name or something. There's other folks where it's just like they change their name with the tide. Like there's this one dude, we used to share like a house where I had a room, he had a room, blah, blah, blah. It's not really roommates, but close enough. Where like, I knew him as like Aaron, but on Facebook, he has changed his name so many times where it's like, you know, whatever Celtic name Greenleaf or you know, pagan name, Native American name. Like every week he had a different name to the point where I had no idea who he even was on Facebook. I was like, you know, we lived together for most of a year and I don't freaking know who he is on Facebook because he won't keep his name.
Okay, well that's a little better. I mean, when you first mentioned this, I thought you were referring to him going down to the courthouse every 6 months for a new name. That's going to run into money, and then after a while, I'm thinking that would they even let him do it anymore? Thinking it's frivolous and all that shit. But it's another story
Well, I
entirely.
mean, it's what he expects to be called by people.
Does he give fair warning? It's like, okay, 2 weeks
really.
from now, I am going to be calling myself Daproshnia, so you had better be doing that, within 2 weeks.
Oh, no, it's not one of those things. And also, I have like 3,200 Facebook friends. It's really hard to keep track. Like, maybe he gives people warning, here's my name now, and I just don't see it in the, deluge of posts. But I've started unfollowing people I don't actually know just to be able to keep up with my friends.
Okay, I get that. I get that.
Yeah, and I say friends, a lot of you out there in internet land are people I like, but don't know very well. But there's other folks where it's like, yeah, we've kind of grown attached to where you're almost family, and that is a friend. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like some of you out there are halfway between acquaintance and friend, but there's others where it's like, yeah, if you came to the family reunion, it'd be weird, but it'd be totally cool.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, what were we talking about?
Names came in there.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else do we have?
I mean, another one who kept changing their name, like a member of the Seagoth community came out as trans and has gone through at least 12 different names before. Well, I don't know if she's settled on anything yet.
Oh, I know a few people who have done that. Yeah. And it's very disconcerting because, okay, what do I call you this week?
Yeah.
I mean, I decided on Diana, 23 years ago, and it just stayed right there.
I've never had an offline nickname.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's kind of strange now that I think about it. I don't know. Well, and I mean, I'm actually okay with it because I like Kate well enough. It's a great name, I think.
Yes.
But still. It's just a thing.
I don't know. I'd suggest calling you Bi, but that does have some other connotations that you don't necessarily want. Is it bionic dance? Yeah.
I do get bionic a lot from people. I also get BD a lot from people. It's kind of funny though, because there's a character in Doonesbury named BD who is
yes,
whatsoever, not even slightly like me. So.
Oh, my BD, that goes way back.
Yeah. I remember my parents had a book of Doonesbury from the 70s, from before I was born, called But This War Had Such Promise, where it took place during Vietnam, and BD ended up going into the military and still wore his football helmet, which he wore all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my, Dems were the days, man. It really went down the tubes. But what can I tell you? But
I look at Doonesbury, then I look at Bloom County, and I'm like, these two are trying to be the same thing, but Bloom County's actually entertaining.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm so happy that Bloom County is back.
Yeah. Outland was not good. But Bloom County is really good.
And I have to say, yeah, I mean, I want to have Obus's baby, but
Okay. Sure. I'm trying to picture what that unholy looked like.
Well,
It's
hey.
kind of like when Hodgepodge and Rosebud had those kids.
Oh,
And they were like,
jeez, yes.
yeah, I.
But then again, can you imagine if I had fallen for Bill the cat?
Oy. You
So I
know,
just
it
want to
still
know.
amuses me that at one point in Bloom County, Donald Trump was in a horrible accident and they had
Yeah,
to take the brain out and put it in Bill the Cat. And so
yeah,
for a good long time, Donald Trump as Bill the Cat was a thing in Bloom County.
yes. That was the amazing thing. I mean, it was just total incongruence. No, not total
Yeah.
incontinence, total incongruence. There's a difference.
Although there was a thing about a golden litter box. He called it the Trump dump.
Yes. So,
Yeah, America's a Trump dump right now.
should
Yeah, there is
bring that
But-
back.
Ivana Trump was a character. I don't think
Oh.
they had spawned yet. But I
I'm-
still cannot imagine what it must be like for a woman to lower herself enough to allow that to crawl all over her. Why, like, I cannot imagine letting Donald Trump lie atop me and thrust. No.
Ew.
I don't know.
Well, that's not point.
The only thing I can think of is that said person, might be thinking, well, it's a paycheck.
It's what?
It's a paycheck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I suppose there could be some gold diggers out there, but still. I mean, I look at what's her face, Melania Trump or whatever, and she does not look normal to me. Her eyes are a weird shape, and they're always ringed with enough black to make her look like a raccoon. And it's like I'm not sure she's all there. Now, granted, I haven't seen her speak. I've only seen pictures, but she looks like she could be drugged. And that might be why she's with him. Or maybe he has some weird hold over her where it's like, you're gonna marry me or this comes out kind of thing. I don't know.
I don't know. That's a possibility. Yeah. Something.
But it's really hard to picture her going with him willingly.
I don't know. And at one time, it may have been the lure of the Yankee dollar, but yeah.
But I mean, love. How does anyone love Donald Trump?
Oh God, I don't know. I don't think anybody does. I don't think anybody can. I mean, when you see those two, very often, it's like there's a wall between them. Trump's wall. He's got it right there. Now, once or twice, I've seen photos or video clips where it looks like she's trying some little, might reach for his hand or something like that, to have her hand held, but he immediately slaps it away. So maybe there is something in her that wants a little bit of affection. Well, shit, have you seen the way she looked at Justin Trudeau?
Who are we talking about?
Melania Trump. I get the impression that perhaps Trump himself looks at her overtures like that as weakness, because that's the one thing he doesn't ever want to do is show weakness. He always has to win, and having her holding his hand in public, probably he thinks makes him look weak. I mean, it's kind of like his whole response to this stupid virus was to pretend it didn't exist. And he gave his reasons, from his own head. He said, I can't let people see that there is a disease coming because that makes me look weak. And I'm sitting here thinking, dude, if you stepped up and dealt with it like a motherfucking boss, people would go, there's a leader. But this isn't happening. This can't be happening. Not on my watch at all, ever. It makes him look shady and weak in exactly the ways he doesn't want.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's in it
such a-
too. He's in it too deep now to turn around and try to change his behavior because that will make him look weak in as he's looking at himself.
Well, no, actually, that's not entirely true because sometimes he'll be in meetings about things with a bunch of people, and usually the last person to speak is the one he agrees with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay.
And unfortunately, that's not a good thing for him because
Well,
sometimes those people are idiots.
what do you mean sometimes?
Okay, generally, most of the
Yeah,
time.
I don't know what he's doing with the few competent people that are around him even yet.
What competent people?
Who's
Really.
who's the doctor he absolutely hates?
Fauci?
Fauci. That's yeah. Why is he still
Or
there?
Fauci.
Yeah, why
Um,
hasn't he been booted out yet? That amazes
Actually, I
me.
think Trump has tried, hasn't he?
I don't remember offhand. I really don't. Because maybe he has, and it slipped my mind. I mean, it's easy for my mind is like turtle wax. Okay, it's always slipping. But beside that,
Why would anyone whack a turtle?
I don't know. Maybe they're eating it while it's still alive. Shit, I don't know.
Choking the chicken?
Bork.
Oh boy.
Punching the cobra?
Yeah.
There you go.
There.
Yeah, there are times and places to own such things. I'm not sure that this is one of them. Oh
really.
my, oh my, oh my. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's.
Say zombie bambushka.
What about my grandmother? Wait a minute.
Right. My
I'm
mother was a
sorry.
saint. There was a thing in what the fuck's it called? Futurama, where someone blathered in an alien language at Dr. Zoidberg, and he goes, "My mother was a saint."
Oh,
So
I
yeah,
remember that one. Yes, indeed, I remember that line. Oh
Yeah.
God, yes. Oh my, but
Futurama. I need to rewatch that. That was so like a good show, and I love the visual style, that retro pulp fiction, pulp sci-fi looking thing. I love that.
mhm.
So
I love the whole from the beginning through Fry and Bender coming to be roommates. You know, I think it was about 3 or 4 episodes that and it went through how that happened. That was a beautiful thing.
I thought it was just the first episode, but I love where the whole "this is my closet" and it's like not a tiny
Oh,
little.
okay. I thought that was its own episode. No, okay.
No, it's like the first episode.
Yeah, because I
Excuse me.
remember him living at work, and they were wanting to get rid of him in a big way, and
There might have been an episode like that, but I'm pretty sure the first episode was when he discovered the like really cool windowed pad that
yeah, it was his
Bender.
closet. It was like palatial mansions. Oh, yeah, I'll take this.
Yeah.
Shit, man. Uh,
Oh shit!
hmm?
I gotta free up some space on
Uh-oh.
my computer.
What,
Uh-oh.
is it all full?
Almost.
Oh, no. Excuse me. That's horrible. I mean, I didn't think you could do that anymore in this day of multi-terabyte disk drives.
Well,
Oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah, and you didn't think you could do it back when.
Sylvia.
that morale.
She's
You
getting.
know, I heard something that honestly I hope is not true. That when a cat is in heat like that, you can take a Q-tip and
Oh,
yeah,
God.
like
I
that's a way like I've heard that's a way to make them knock it off. I hope that's not true, and I hope no one's done it.
I don't
But
think
it's
I
something
would
I've
want
heard.
to. No, I don't think I'd want to
Yeah,
perform
I
that
don't
experiment.
think I'd want to.
Yeah, well, who would?
And
But I've
besides,
heard that's a thing.
and besides, I think it's the initiation of pregnancy that really puts an
Even
absolute
so.
end to it. But
Oh yeah, here we go. kittyexpert.com. How to help a cat in heat with a Q-tip.
oh, jeez.
I'm not even kidding. It says here, let's see. Cats that are not spayed, blah 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 blah, once a month. Yeah, how to help a cat in heat. Q-tip. The Q-tip method is a common way for cat owners to calm down a cat in heat. However, it is not very natural for the cat, and we do not recommend it as it can cause infection in the cat if the Q-tip is not sterilized. The Q-tip method involves sticking the Q-tip into the cat's vagina and pushing it in and out. You're supposed to continue this motion until your cat has an orgasm. If you do use the Q-tip method, do not put any lubricant on the Q-tip as it can cause infection. Make sure to discard the Q-tip after you use it. So, yes. But they have other advice, like apparently a warm pad helps, catnip helps, cat calming diffuser helps. Oh, a clean litter box, really? I would have thought
Okay.
that would help anyway. But yeah, so there's a bunch of things that mention it.
Yeah, she seems to be getting a little better by now. I mean, it's still there, but it seems to be tailing off a little bit. And then getting the
Tailing off, I see what you did there.
yeah, see what yeah, it's hopefully my stimulus check will come fairly soon. Yeah, stimulus, and we'll head up to the north side. It's not only getting her spayed, it's getting the shots and everything too, because well, they're going to want that before the spaying actually takes place anyway, and take care of all that, and then we can have it done, and everything will be good. We hope. See what happens, but
Oh, football.
football.
So it's we've been over this. It's a thing from college where like people would belch and then say football because
Okay.
boys play or watch football, drink a lot of beer and belch while watching it. That was the rationale behind it.
Oh,
Um,
okay, okay.
yeah. So it's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. It has been a long week. Ugh.
Imagine it's only been 7 days.
Yes, but my mother's calling, going, "How much of your money do you have left?" It's
Oh,
none of her business. Well, you need to get your car fixed. It's going to cost me more money to get the car fixed than the car is worth.
Oh, I see why there's so much space taken up in my computer. It's because I haven't been deleting videos I've made. So like there's all this just like well, I mean not the videos themselves, the raw footage. There's just so much raw footage.
You don't save
sitting.
that.
What?
You don't save that.
What?
You don't save the raw footage.
What?
You don't save the raw footage.
Oh, save. Sorry, when you said save, I heard say.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, no.
Oh, okay. Now I realize I'm weird, but I have the source footage from every one of the films I've made. It's on an external drive, but so
Well-
it's not taking up room over here. But if I
Well,
ever,
no, I mean- I see no reason to save it unless I'm worried YouTube will delete my channel, and even then, I'd have to re-edit it all. I don't want to do that. I just, it's not important.
Okay then. Priorities.
Yeah.
Oh my. And then
So I'm like, deleting a whole bunch of stuff.
what I've got to do is I've got to get back to doing something, because I'll tell you the unfortunate thing with this plague. I have been spending a lot of time in bed, and it has not been fun. I've been spending a lot of time asleep because there's basically little else that keeps my interest, which is
Yeah.
not a good thing.
Hmm.
So maybe
Let's
I'll
see.
have to try to get back to other stuff and do things, and I don't know, stuff and things. Yeah, as Jeff used to say.
I've done both of those.
And then there's this cat.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to do the cat. No.
Gad, there's so much. Anyway, I
And I'm
need to do a
basically
bunch of
surrounded
maintenance,
by
like because I've got
demons
I've got all these videos that need deleting, and there's also like I should go through my patrons list on Patreon and see who is and isn't still a patron and get rid of them in the credits for patrons.
Oh my! I'm never good at keeping up with that either. So.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is like every now and then I notice that people are gone, so I just do the maintenance on it. I always add someone to the. My God, do something about that cat.
Hey, you.
I always do something. Or when someone becomes a patron, I always add them to the credits list right away. But about once a year, I go through and have a look at like who's not there anymore and get rid of them because why should they be getting credit?
Yeah, yeah, you got a point there. And then there's this cat. Well, I'll give in the credits. I'll give her credit for the kitty spooch. That's what I'll do.
I'm hoping that you don't understand what spooge means.
I'm sure she does.
Because it usually doesn't come out of a cat, or rather a female cat. I don't know why that's funny. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
It's like punching the
It
cobra.
was your expression when you said it
Oh,
and the way you
Okay.
said it.
okay. Sure.
You have to understand what we were seeing and hearing.
Yes. Oh my! Many much.
Well, I just freed up a whole bunch of gigs, like 100-some gigs.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that helped.
I
I'm going to have to get another, or possibly use the one I've got, another like terabyte drive to store all the footage for that animation I'm working on. Because right now my computer is not. It doesn't have enough.
Mm-hmm.
It really doesn't have enough space to hold all that raw footage.
Well, you know,
I'm gonna have to get another drive to hold all my games.
anymore, multiple terabyte drives are not all that expensive. Not until you get, to 8 or 12 terabytes. I mean, then
Yeah.
those become very expensive per gigabyte. But
Let's see.
the last 1 gigabyte, not 1 gigabyte, the last 1 terabyte drive I bought for these machines, I think it was about $50, and the 4 terabyte drive I bought for the newer computer, I think it ran less than 150, and that was a couple of years ago.
Oh, and you know what? I've got a whole bunch of games that I don't really play anymore that I can totally uninstall. That'll free up a double-wide buttload of space.
Good lord. Western Digital Red 4 terabyte NAS internal hard drive. It's 104.
Mm-hmm. And now the red, those are geared toward surveillance. So
National security, yeah.
they're pretty rugged.
Yeah.
Now the green drives are probably not worth the money you spend on them, but the blue drives are
I
okay.
usually blue or black, yeah.
Which
That's
the hell
what I
one
usually
is
get.
endless space to? Oh, that one. I can get rid of that. Sorry, I've got like so many games I can uninstall right now because I seriously, genuinely never play them anymore.
Yeah, a 4 terabyte
You got a cat that sounds
Blue.
more like a motorboat than a cat.
is 91.
I want to know what the hell motorboats you've been on. Let's see.
The kitty is basically servicing herself at this point, so.
Can cats do that? I mean, I know they can bend that far, but do they do that?
This one does.
Because I gotta tell you, with cats' tongues the way they are, it'd be like masturbating with a cheese grater.
Okay. I don't know if you know anything about a male cat's anatomy.
Yeah, but I understand
They
that
have
cats don't
spikes.
enjoy that.
They have spikes on certain parts of their anatomy.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is that, like, usually the female cat doesn't much enjoy it.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm looking at a cat's tongue and thinking that can't be fun.
We're talking about you.
Jeepers, how long can it possibly take to uninstall this?
Yes. Takes that long.
Did I seriously only free up? Ay, chihuahua. All right, whatever.
What, 5 megabytes?
Nah, like 100.
You know,
I honestly thought these games were bigger than that.
the interesting thing though is I can remember well, okay, I'm old, I know. But I can remember having a 10 megabyte disk drive and filling the damn thing with assembly language code.
Well, I never did that with assembly language code. I do remember when a whole video game could be contained on a single 5 1/4 floppy.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I also remember when certain games came out and CD drives were not a thing yet, and you had to install these things on hard drives because they came on 6 floppy disks.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah,
And some of
I
the
remember that too.
some of the stuff and things that you would get from Microshaft. I remember a Visual Basic development environment that came on, I am not kidding, 20 floppy disks.
Well, there's a song. It's really, 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 really old, but it's like the Microsoft spoof song, I think they called it. And it's this whole thing. I mean, back in the day, when this was made, like hard drives were pretty small. And so the guy's got this whole like Microsoft, but we're all the way. I've sat here installing Word since breakfast yesterday. And the end of it is like Microsoft moderation, please. Guess you hadn't noticed 4 gig drives don't grow on trees, like that. So it's like 4 gig drives were the thing back then. And
Oh man, I remember when 2 gig was the limit. Yeah, they had to change the counters in the file system in order to use anything larger than 2 gig.
well, I remember when I got brain not work now, a VGA card, and it's like $256. Oh my gosh, this is so amazing.
Uh-huh.
And it's I remember when I got a Sound Blaster and I was like, wow, this sounds so cool because it's not just
Yep.
PC bleeps and bloops.
Yup.
So okay, I'm just gonna uninstall Skyrim. I don't play it anymore. Besides, I have the VR version on another machine. So
Okay then.
My new graphics card has not shipped yet.
Oh no.
Yeah.
there we go. I went from
Well, they
about
finally-
112 gigs to 329 gigs. That'll
Yeah.
work.
They finally took the money out for it, so it means they're in the process of getting ready to ship it. It just has not
Gee, I
shipped.
would have hoped that they would not have taken the money until it was on its merry way, but yeah, it's just me.
Yeah, really.
So a friend of mine in China got hold of a bunch of those N95 masks, and sent them to me in a package that was shipped last month on the
And still has
3rd.
not arrived.
April 3rd. And as of yesterday, it says in transit to next facility. Your package is moving within the USPS network and is on track to be delivered to its final destination. It's currently in transit to the next facility. Now, it sat in customs for like 2 weeks.
Oh, well, it must have been in quarantine to make sure that the mask didn't have COVID-19.
Maybe, but still, it took forever. And I'm not so sure because there have been times where I've like ordered a t-shirt, especially like made t-shirt, and they built it in China. And it took 1.5 years to get to me because they built it in China and shit sits in customs when it comes from China for a very long time. So it may not have had anything to do with COVID-19, except possibly the fact that like they're not shipping stuff from China to the US very often because of China and the virus apparently being blamed on them by a lot of idiots here in this country. I'm sure it was something like that
Well,
where it's just
that's what's
um,
really fun. There are still people calling it the China virus, and it's like, oh, come on. Oh, and
well, Trump is hitting that trope so freaking hard because he wants to have someone to blame.
and
Where it's the Republicans always need an enemy.
oh yes, absolutely, yes. Isn't that part of the playbook? I can't remember if that appeared in the
Yeah.
alt-right playbook or not.
Well, it was part of the segment on fascism.
Okay,
There's
yeah.
undefined other.
Mm. But yeah,
So
that just reminded me. You're familiar with Peter Hatfield?
the name's
Um,
familiar, but I
uh,
think I know someone else with that last name, and it's confusing me.
Potholer 54.
Sure.
He just put out a video, I think it was yesterday, on debunking the whole the virus was developed in a Wuhan.
That.
Yeah. It's amazing that it has to be done again, but I guess it has to be done again. But he does it so well. He's got his style is that science correspondent style, which I happen to like. It's the emotion is out of it. It's level. It's a rather a matter of fact reporting style, and I dearly love that. And Peter's got it to a T. Well,
Oh, see, I like it if they can manage a little bit of personality, a little bit of, if it's too dry, I don't care.
well, he actually gives it, to my mind anyway, it gives it personality by doing what I was describing.
Mm,
Um,
Not personality, that's being a Vulcan.
I mean, Markiplier, he's not, but
What is he?
Markiplier
Just say the name again.
Markiplier.
Markiplier. I don't know that name.
Markiplier is the gaming person.
That doesn't help.
Reviews
There's so
games.
many- That's everybody on the internet. You gotta be more like seriously. If someone said, "Oh yeah, it's the game review channel," I'd be like, "One of these? How many thousands?"
Yeah, I get. Well, he's one that's been in it for. He's been around as long as you have, so it's a while. He's just been in a different venue. Anyway, but yeah, it's always a joy for me to hear another video from Peter, because it's always that understated British thing, yeah. But what the hell?
Oh,
Well, he was with the BBC for how long?
I don't know. I don't know this guy.
His his avatar is Buster Keaton.
Yeah, I don't know this guy at all.
Okay.
Never got into Buster Keaton either. Like, my parents had me watch Abbott and Costello and the Marx Brothers. That's about as close as I got.
Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my.
And I seem to remember watching was it called The Little Dictator, The Great Dictator, whatever, the Charlie Chaplin thing where he is basically being Hitler, and it's like one of the first times you hear him talk.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about, and I can't remember the exact title either.
It's
But
either The
it's
Great Dictator or The Little Dictator. It's one of
yeah,
those.
yeah.
I don't know. It's a thing I remember, but the point is that I never did watch Buster Keaton.
Oh, Sarah from Hyde says to check out Simon Whistler's thing, video on COVID-19. She says, check out, today I found out video on COVID-19 being made by the government as well. So I guess today is debunk the rumors day, something like that.
And every time someone says it's the Wuhan virus, what goes through my head is, oh, you mean like the Wu-Tang Clan?
Okay.
And I know it's not, but it's what I hear in my head every time someone says Wuhan.
Let me look up over here.
Wu-Tang Clan at all.
What?
I said, I'm guessing you don't know the Wu-Tang Clan.
Not personally or anything like that. No.
Well,
Is this
okay,
one of
you don't
the?
know what it is.
Is this one of the actual nefarious gangs?
It's a band.
Oh, it's a band. Okay, okay.
Yes. I've actually never knowingly listened to them, but I know that much, that it's a band.
Got ya. Okay, here we go. Copy link location. Yay, 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 yay.
Ah!
Oh, for Christ's sake, come on. I hate it when this... You click inside the pane and it still doesn't take, and it does strange things to you when you're trying to type.
Well, you know what the worst one is when you're on a website and you try to click on something, the website isn't quite finished loading yet. And like just as you click, it jumps a little and you end up clicking on something you never intended.
Yes!
And now you cannot get back to what you were trying to do.
Yeah, absolute. That is one of the
most annoying things to ever have to deal with.
Yeah, I like that. It's a good way to put it.
Facebook is the worst. Facebook is the worst for that because like it tends to show you what it thinks you want to see in no particular order. And sometimes like you see the coolest meme in the world and you try to click on it, something jumps, and now
you can never get back to it. Yeah.
No idea whatsoever. And I blame, like what's his face, Zuckerberg, for that shit.
Because it's happened to me a couple of times when you've put something up and I try to get to it and that whole jump thing goes on. And even going to your channel to look for it's buried somewhere. And it's too hard to find with the amount of effort I want to put. So I have to wait until it surfaces again. And it usually does because people are always liking your thing or replying to it or whatever.
Well, that's the thing, though, on Facebook. I mean, I guess you can set the timeline to be sequential, to be in order. But like, I have 3,200 Facebook friends, and so if someone said something an hour ago, I'll never see it.
Mm-hmm.
So I set it to give me the highlights. But the weird thing is, like, there's a couple of friends' posts where it's like a week later, that post is still in my feed. But that thing I saw 10 minutes ago, forget about it.
Yep.
And I don't know what the logic of the algorithm is because I'm like, I'm sick to death of seeing that post, but I can't do anything about it without Facebook assuming I never want to see anything from that person again.
The logic of that algorithm is that there is none.
Well, no, someone had to write it. So someone somewhere thought this is a good idea.
I wish I knew what they did and how they did it, but maybe it's a good thing that I don't because then my brain would melt and I'd be even worse off than I already am. So
I really want to like one of the most frustrating things is you cannot get anyone from YouTube to explain to you the algorithm that searches for unacceptable content.
Yeah.
Like they say, well, here's our community guidelines. I'm like, this video followed your community guidelines to a friggin' T, and you still demonetized it. Why? And they're like, I can't give you a time code. I can't tell you what word in your description or tags triggered the algorithm, but something did. And I'm like, yes, I know something did. And I asked them, how can I avoid this in the future if you don't tell me what the problem was? And one thing I discovered, I mean, I've talked about the New England accent and how
Yeah.
T's not pronounced. And you know how YouTube will automatically generate closed captioning, and it usually does it quite badly? One thing I've noticed in a number of my outros, when I tell people to rate this video, the algorithm thinks I said rape this video.
Oops.
Oh goodness.
And so I can't help wondering if maybe they're going, talking about rape and, demonetizing my video. I don't know, but I know that something's happening.
And it's really screwy.
Oh no, it's just really annoying. And it wouldn't be so annoying if it wasn't so undefined. If they could identify for me, oh yeah, this is where it happened, I could be like, okay, never doing that again. Even though it doesn't violate anything, I'm never doing that again. It would be, and it wouldn't just be useful to me, it'd be useful to them. If they make revenue off of my videos, telling me how to keep my videos monetized would help. But they don't bother. They don't do it.
When you do the monetization thing, if they demonetize one of your videos, don't they still get any revenue that might be generated by it? So
Okay,
they would not care about.
Let me just explain the way it works.
Okay.
Because there are levels of demonetization, right? There's absolutely no monetization whatsoever, but then there's the far more common limited ads or no ads on your video, where it's the difference between a green $, a yellow $, and a red $. The red $sign is no monetization. The green one is just, lock and load, go for it. But the yellow one is, well, your video might be a little bit hinky, so we're just going to let the more lenient advertisers advertise on your video unless no one's lenient enough, in which case, no monetization for you, right? And I would be getting that yellow $sign all the friggin' time. I don't know why. I could never get them to tell me why, but I would. And
why did they say we can't tell you a time code? We can't tell you what was said, but something violated. Why do they say that? Is it just to keep you guessing?
I don't know why. That's the problem. That's part of what makes it so frustrating, is dealing with the lack of information.
I think Edmund Meese is running the show. He doesn't know. He cannot.
Donald Trump.
He cannot define unacceptable content, but he knows when he sees it. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. It's deeply frustrating. And the thing is, I mean, maybe they don't even know, right? Like maybe they have something in their algorithm and it just doesn't tell them. It's not explicit, but so they don't have a time code. Maybe they don't have the thing, because it does, the algorithm just demonetizes it and then forgets about it, instead of saying here's why. It doesn't store why.
Okay.
And there's this one guy who claims to know AI rather well and says that the algorithm might not even know itself. Like there's some weird AI thing that happened. And I'm like, but how does it not know? And he was like, well, it might not be one single thing. It might be a combination of things you said. They were a little bit lenient, but you did it too many times in one video or some shit. I was like, come on, they gotta have a list of keywords and things. And someone actually did that. Someone ran this experiment for 11,000 different terms and found that there are some that always trigger the algorithm.
Okay, then.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yay!
I've been dealing with this shit far too long. Spent way too much of my life like dealing with this crap.
Hi,
I mean,
Red.
like, suppose for a moment we get that monthly recurring UBI that everyone's asking for. You know, they've been even if it was just 1,000 a month, but right now they're talking about $2,000 a month. Sometimes it's for the duration of the coronavirus. Sometimes it's forever. If we were getting $2,000 a month, I'm sorry to say, I would probably quit doing YouTube atheism and make my channel only about animation, because honestly, I'm tired. I'm really tired. I'm not sure I want to do it anymore.
I can understand. I can.
You know, there have been times I've taken a whole month off just because I need a break from it.
Hopefully, you've got a little bit of something set aside so you're not going hungry while you're doing that.
I actually, for the times, have an obscene amount of money in the bank. Like, let's put it this way, if I keep saving the way I have been, in a couple of months I'll have $10,000 in the bank.
Okay.
Plus, I've mentioned before that my parents made some really good investments. When they die, I stand to have more than that UBI will ever offer per month. Because the way they did it, they set it up in a trust fund where, like, I don't just get this big ass lump sum. It like I get a check every month.
Yeah. Just like
You
if
know.
you were working.
Yeah, but it's honestly, it's more money than I could ever spend. So, I mean, unless I get a car or something. And they also sort of did the Bill Gates thing. When we die, we're giving a shit ton of it to charity, and then we're giving the rest to Kate.
Okay.
You know, and honestly, I'm okay with that. I don't mind. You know, because I've mentioned before, I am very comfortable at the moment, and I don't feel the need for money for its own sake. I see it as a means to an end. So, you know, it like hell, even if I got nothing, I'd probably be pretty okay.
Oh, in the meantime, apparently Beijing's piss is really in a boil right now.
Okay.
Huh?
Taiwan's success in fighting coronavirus has bolstered its global standing. This has infuriated Beijing.
Beijing is always pissed off at Taipei.
Taiwan.
Taipei is the capital of Taiwan.
Yeah, see, you know, it really, 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 really helps sometimes if you could say this stuff in ways people understand it.
Who, me?
Like when you were talking about Potholer 54, I'd recognize that name, but you called him something else first, and I had no idea what you were talking about.
Okay, then. Atlas Obscura over here.
Sure. No, it's just that, like
I just know him as the guy. I just know him as Mr. Oi, Hoven, you can't carbon date that. There's no fucking carbon in it.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, point being, it's just there have been so many times where, like, I have experience with the thing you're talking about, but nobody calls it that except you.
That's one of my more endearing qualities, isn't it?
Well, it's a matter of like understanding. You know, just it helps move the conversation along if people know what the heck you're talking about.
Oh my! I guess one of the problems I have is I assume people know more than they do.
Well, and I mean, it's kind of like the first time I heard a British person say garage instead of garage, I was beyond confused. Now, they can be excused for that because it's their accent, but, you know, if there's a common name for something and an obscure name for something, pick the common name. It's just a communication thing, you know? It's better to be understood than to be complete, if that makes sense. It's I don't know, it's just a thing.
Yeah, it's
Um,
it makes a few
context,
cents,
though.
maybe even $1.
Hmm.
Well, it's like I've mentioned my board game nights a couple of times, and there was that one dude who would absolutely refuse to tell you the objective of the game until he told you how to play it. And I was like, okay, so you do this to accomplish that, but why do I want to accomplish it? You know, am I trying to get points?
Yeah.
Am I trying to get the most space on the board? What am I doing?
What is your end goal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, like, okay, I can understand it if the game has different goals every time. Like, I just got the Firefly board game, and it's actually a lot of fun.
A
But you
little
can't tell
remote.
people this is what you're trying to do to win because every game you draw a mission card that tells you what the win conditions are. So,
Oh, it's one of those games. Okay.
yeah.
God, that already sounds like an interesting game.
Well,
Firefly,
let's
huh?
play. Uh, Please tell me you've watched that show.
No, I haven't.
Oh, please tell me you've heard of it.
Should I just shut up?
I've heard of it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Firefly. It's one of those TV shows that got cut short because apparently
Hey,
there
little
wasn't
one.
there wasn't enough people watching it or something.
Yes.
But everyone and their hamster loves the crap out of it, and they lament the fact that it ended early. But the basic premise is it's a western in outer space.
Yep.
There's this dude Malcolm Reynolds, and he and his fellow independents lost a war, and now all their planets belong to the Alliance and all that stuff. But he's kind of grouchy about it. He ended up after the war getting his hands on this rickety ship and a crew, and now they all like fly around doing various jobs for people, and some of them are legal, and some of them very, very aren't.
Yep.
And so the basic premise of the game is that you are captaining your own Firefly, trying to win by accomplishing whatever the story mission is. And you have to equip your ship with upgrades. You have to get a crew, and you know, various abilities to be able to accomplish tasks and stuff. And you have to make contacts with some of the various characters from the show that can do things for you, like set up missions for you and stuff. It's a lot of fun, but if you have 3 people playing it, it will take you multiple hours to finish a single game. I played it single player, which is something you can do. And I played the first time in the captain's chair mission the first time around, and that took about an hour. Then I played one of the other story cards, and it took me like 2 hours all by myself.
Mm.
So
Okay,
imagine
then.
other people.
Now, those multiple hour games can be very interesting. I can like them depending on the company around the table.
Oh, okay.
Huh, what?
I was gonna say apparently the first tropical storm of the season has started early.
Yeah.
Okay.
Arthur formed in the Atlantic earlier and was named a tropical storm yesterday.
Okay.
Wonder how they decide what the name of a storm is going to be. Is there a committee? Do they have one of those
There's
lottery?
yes, there is.
Let me finish. Do they have one of those like lottery things where it's got the balls, like, you know, and they go, okay, this one's Arthur.
Actually, there is
Not
there's a
quite,
set
but yeah.
of lists. Where
Every six,
Okay.
they have a set of lists that
Okay.
repeats every 6 years. So, like in 2014, you have da 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 da. In 2012, you had a whole bunch of names, and then Sandy. And the way it works is that normally the list will be repeated every 6 years. Like you'll see Hurricane Arthur in 2014, or then Tropical Storm Arthur in this year. And if a hurricane does enough damage to be that reusing its name is in bad taste,
yeah, they will
maybe-
retire the name. You're not going to see Katrina again.
But
You're
are they
not.
doing
Or
them?
Sandy.
Are they doing them in order?
in alphabetical order, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it might be a while before we see Hurricane Kate.
It might, but
Yeah,
they're
I'll default to either Katie or Catherine. That's one thing that has bugged me like my whole life is you go to like a shop where they sell cards or something or bracelets with your name on it or whatever. You will inevitably find Katie everywhere, but Kate not so much. That one's a crapshoot.
yeah. I can't find Diana when I see these things. Sometimes I will see Diane, but Diana, no, not those little bicycle license plates. No, you never see that on there.
Yeah,
No, but
I had to have mine custom made.
okay. Now I remember, I forget which year it was, but there was a recent year where the hurricane names got around W or something like that. Alrighty then. Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun.
Told ya.
Do.
I'm
Wish I
trying.
knew where my obsession with license plates came from. I mean, maybe it's not so much an obsession, but you know, because you've seen my wall.
Yeah. Oh my. Hurricane name.
They don't name earthquakes, do they?
No,
Not that I know of, no.
they just take the name of the city that they completely fuck.
They don't always do that. We had an earthquake about a week ago.
There was one in Las Vegas a couple days ago, actually.
Well, I remember I was sitting at my computer and all of a sudden, quite involuntarily, I'm doing this. And then it was over. It took like 2 seconds. And I was like, was that an earthquake I just felt? And yeah, it was.
No, when I say completely fuck, I mean we're talking.
I know what you're talking about. I'm just saying they don't always do it.
Hey, this is interesting. I was looking up stuff, and we have a list here. Caribbean Sea, Gulf of Mexico, and North Atlantic names.
We have several lists of names that repeat every 6 years, I think.
And in
Well, at least
in the list for 2015, we find Kate.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Which means your name will be up next in 2021.
I is going to look at this.
No, not necessarily. It depends on how many times this happens. I mean, we could go a couple of years without a giant-ass hurricane. And
Yeah, we only got to Dorian this year. Or last year.
Well,
Okay,
no,
wait a
Dorian
minute,
got its
no.
sorry ass retired.
you
Okay.
have got to do something about that cat.
Yes, I do know this. We are going to have to do something about it when we get the money and transportation together. And I hope that happens soon. U.S. Gov.
We're not hearing you, Talon.
Wait a minute.
Goodness.
I'm not seeing the picking chord that this. Okay. Tästä Petrada kolkkaali odavatianta ja kärsöllä vetrini. No, I don't know what I just said.
You know, those are getting longer and longer when you say them.
Yes, as they will. Wait a minute. What do we have here?
I don't know.
Well, I just caught an aloha moa.
All right. What do we have? Okay. You'll get an idea of what's going on, maybe, if I can do this. We are going to copy, and then we are going to stick this over here. Gives you some insight on the naming of storms and depressions and hurricanes and stuffs. Yeah, this starts in 2017 and goes to 2022.
Oh, tornado.
Yeah.
Now that's what I want to see. I want to
What?
see hurricane tornado.
Oh yeah,
Nah.
that would be funny.
Yeah.
Tasty.
I don't know. My brain keeps turning that into tomato, and I can't help it.
Tomato. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, what do you want from me
Ow.
over here?
And then there's this cat
Mhm.
who wants attention.
Oh, you want to talk about cats who want attention? I got me a Xander on my lap over here.
You got that cattiness. Hello, cattiness.
And he's doing your closet.
He's an adorable little monstrosity.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't want to be this sleepy right now. I was like
Mm.
energetic about an hour ago, and now
Yeah,
crash.
I kind of know the feeling. I mean, I was in bed all day. I mean, pretty much literally all day yesterday.
I don't know.
And I get out of bed to get prettied up, and I know that's a contradiction in terms.
Wasn't going to go there, but anyway.
And I'm standing in the shower and I'm falling asleep already, and it's like, Clarion, you just
woke
hauled
up,
yourself out of bed after pretty much 24 hours between, under the blanket, and it's, why are you falling asleep? God damn it.
I'll tell you why. You need to exercise.
That would be kind of nice if I could manage that.
Oh, there's plenty of exercise you can do in a confined space.
No.
See, I mean,
that's not what
it's
they're talking
like-
about. Tornado.
Yeah, I'm talking about sit-ups, push-ups, squats, that kind of thing. You can totally do that. And I have found that the more I exercise, the more easily I stay awake. Like just in
Okay.
general.
Yeah, it's because you're stimulating your adrenal gland.
Yeah. So, I would recommend like staying awake or exercising, I mean.
Okay. I hope that would.
The more I play Spark, the more awake I stay.
I would hope that would inhibit the depression gland as well, but we'll see what happens there.
It should.
Because I'm going to be honest, and most of the time,
That's
there's just no reason to get out of bed.
I've got reason to get out of bed, and that's that I have been experimenting with making background characters for my animations. Because I realized that making individual characters is going to be a gigantic pain in the ass, but I do have 2 crowd scenes in my upcoming animation, so what am I supposed to do over here? So what I ended up doing was figuring out a way to make bits and pieces of characters modular, like changing their hair by having the hair be separate from the character, finding ways to make their outfits entirely bitmaps, so I can just make a new outfit as graphics instead of geometry, and that way I don't have to completely rig a new character, that kind of thing.
You can change colors on the bitmap and make it look different.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So that has been streamlining my production time a lot. But it's some of the hair that I have to make is really complicated. There was one that I built that took a whole day. But at least that's not the tedium of rigging a new character, because boy, is that tedious. So that has been my way to get out of bed, is to work on that. Because honestly, I'm having fun animating. Oh my gosh. Xander, what are you doing with the claws?
I
Coming
wouldn't
to say
mind.
hello.
I wouldn't mind having fun doing stuff. I mean, not that this is not fun. Okay, don't get me wrong here. I love this. I mean, I get to talk to your kids and everything else. It's almost like having friends around. But
We are friends.
I'm being facetious here. And
Yeah.
now the rest of the day, though, the rest of the week is just like nothing is. I mean, sometimes tormenting the cat isn't fun. And when it gets
That
to
is
the
a
point,
bad.
yeah, when it gets to the point where tormenting the cat is not fun, you know something's wrong.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I don't know, like I was explaining to my parental units how rambunctious Xander gets, and they like I wasn't asking for it, but they offered to get a kitty toy that's like automatic. Like you actually
Oh,
plug it in with a USB to
Right.
recharge it, and then when you hit the on switch, it will like spin around on the floor randomly for a while and then shut off. And then it spins around randomly for a while and then shuts off. And then when it shuts off like a certain number of times, it then goes into pause mode for an hour and a half, and then will start back up again after that. And to the cat, it seems completely random. Um, so that, but Xander is completely unimpressed by it. He just doesn't give a toss.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how little or how much is his disdain for it?
Well, it's not disdain; it's just eh. But
He just
I'd say
doesn't
about
give a fuck.
he let's put it this way, if 10 is super enthusiastic and 1 is complete and total meh, it's probably about a 4.
that's this one when it comes to the pointers. I mean, she'll chase the pointer for a couple of minutes, and then it's like, okay, is this thing
I'm done.
human? Is this thing still here?
Columbia's like that, except it takes her more like 15 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, I can get this one to climb the walls, chasing the red dot. And I mean, she'll literally try to climb the walls here. Um, but then after a while, it's just like I'm done.
I'm
Where's the
bored.
cat food? Yeah, I don't know.
I'm
Sometimes
sorry.
sometimes I wish I could be bored, so I could know what it feels like and empathize with people who do get bored.
I get bored. Why wouldn't you?
Um, the way things feel to me, maybe I don't know what bored means, but it doesn't feel like I get bored with something. Rather, I lose all interest in everything, and I don't know if that's boredom or if that's something else.
No, boredom is when things are just, I mean, kind of. Like if something gets tedious and you don't do that, but you don't have an alternative and you just don't know what to do with yourself, and then
Yeah.
it's like, okay, but now what? But you really want to do something.
And you're pacing your house going, there's nothing to do,
Oh,
darn it.
okay. That's what I thought people meant by bored. I don't know what that is.
Huh.
I'm always
So
finding
you've never gotten
something.
tired of something,
I get tired of something and I'll move on to something else.
but
Well,
you've
that
never
could be
been tired
considered
of
bored.
everything all at once.
When a depression hits, yeah, but I call
Well,
that
it's not the same. I mean,
yeah,
because there, you have to want to do stuff, but everything looks uninteresting.
yeah, and for some strange reason in my weird brain, it's all interesting. It's just a matter of okay, what interesting thing do I want to pick up this time? Um, I mean, sometimes things will be harder to do than others, and it's okay. I won't do that. I'll do something else in favor of that. Um, like responding to Trent Horn is one of those things. I keep putting that off. Oh Lord. Um, if any of you guys know who and what Trent Horn is, when I started my career, if you want to call it that, I began responding to a website called Catholic Answers. You've responded, Kate, to one or two of your people. Carlo Broussard is one of them, and you may have
Oh,
responded.
that guy. Oh, I
Yeah.
hate that guy.
Oh, he's horrible. And Trent Horn is another one. He's not arrogant in quite the same way, but oh, yeah,
I cannot call up a face. Let me look up here.
yeah, he's arrogant.
Trent Horn.
Yes, he's either arrogantly stupid or stupidly arrogant. I'm not sure which.
I don't recognize him.
Shannon Q interviewed him a little while
Hmm.
ago, and I don't know how she managed because I have gone head to head with him, and it's a good thing that I'm here and he's there, and I cannot reach across the wires to throttle him.
There are some people I could cheerfully do without.
Yeah.
Isn't that true for all of us, though?
Yeah, but, well, let's put it this way. There are some people out there where if I knew I could get away with it, no one would ever know. It would go 2 falls out of 3 whether I actually did anything about it.
Yeah, everybody on that Catholic Answer site is in some way homophobic, transphobic, any of those other things. Horn is egregiously so.
Okay.
And it's, yeah, I'd like to find out if his neck has threads. You know, you just unscrew his head.
Detached brain.
Yeah, pretty much. And he's
There's even some folks I could get rid of who are in the atheism scene.
oh yeah, I didn't really think that there would be any of those, Kate. No,
Yeah.
nobody named Steve McRae.
Nobody named it. No, of course not.
Oh God.
It's amazing to me just how much hatred there is for him now.
Oh, I
Like,
see that.
I feel like I got in on the ground floor on hating him.
Yeah, I've been seeing
Wait,
recently.
Steve McRae?
Yeah,
Yes.
is not very well liked.
No.
Why do you guys hate him?
With the white hot fury of 1,000 suns.
Yeah,
But
well,
yeah, he's such a butt munch, and I could definitely do without him. It's funny though, because I seem to get in on the ground floor of people hating people a lot. Like there was this one guy in the Seagoth scene where I like the first moment I met him, I knew he was toxic, right? But nobody else figured it out for like 2 or 3 years after I realized how much I hate him. And then finally people started going, wow, this guy's a dick. And I'm like, I told you. But yeah.
I'm trying
And
to remember if you've.
I just discovered that there is a video game where you literally wash dogs in virtual reality.
Oh, goodness.
Oh my.
What is the
Okay
point?
then. All right. So okay. Thanks, Omega Nuts. That explains a lot.
What?
Trent is a Thomist. A certain school of
What's
Catholic,
that?
certain school of Catholic thought that's really, really toxic.
Please tell me that the Thomist there, that it's not Thomas Aquinas.
Yeah, it is.
Thomas Aquinas is such a wank.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. From the Wikipedia, Thomism is the philosophical school that arose as a legacy of the work and thought of Thomas Aquinas, philosopher, theologian, doctor of the church. In philosophy, Aquinas' disputed questions and commentaries on Aristotle are perhaps his most well-known works. And yeah, Aquinas is a total wank. Absolutely. The gender counselor I was seeing a while back when I was able to get there tried to convert me with the, well, you should read Aquinas, lady. I already have. She didn't quite like
That's
that
like a
one.
Jehovah's Witness thing. You really should read our Watchtower magazine. It's like, I have no intention to, and I'm definitely not going to. Now that you mention that thing.
Actually, it's not like that. What it's like is when you'll get people like you make an argument and someone will say, "Oh yeah, right. You should totally read this section of the Bible that you've read 1,000 times."
Yes.
You know, like it. They think that you don't know anything about the thing they're talking about. You know, where they're like, "Oh, you just have to read this thing, and you'll understand why what you're saying is wrong." And it's like, I read that thing, and that's why I think it's wrong.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. And even when you tell them what you just told us, they don't get it. They make the assumption that for some reason we're just parroting off something that one of the deans or the cardinals or the popes of atheism, said. We're just parroting that. No, 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 no. No, I've read Aquinas. The other one. I've read Augustine. It was total butt munch. And a whole bunch of others. The old, and many more.
Well, BJ never read the Bible. Why start now? Know thine enemy.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
It helps, like, to know what it is you're arguing against when you start arguing against it.
Yeah, because if you know the twists and turns of the rabbit hole, it helps you navigate and actually successfully refute, even when they don't see it.
Like
Yeah.
Kent Hovind.
Like a lot of
Lord. Hovind, oh gods. Anyway.
Yeah. Hovind. What an idiot. Like, and the weird thing is that there are a bunch of people that have started to blend together for me now, where someone says Hovind, I have to remember, no, wait, not Ray Comfort and not Ken Ham. Okay. And if it's either of those other two, I have to remember, okay, not that other one and not Hovind. They're like all the same to me now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And none of them knows what they think they know, and because they don't know what they think they know, it's impossible to convince them that they've been beaten.
Okay. I'm looking at an ad for a video game right now called Bed Lying Simulator.
Oh
Okay.
no. Oh no.
No, I mean, okay, to be fair, it looks like the bed talks to you and it might be lying, but still, this is a bed lying simulator is a quality short experience with a philosophical subtext. Lie on a bed, get overweight, see your life wasted.
I think I'll just play
That's
Candy
the
instead of
story
Crush,
of my
whatever.
life. What are you talking about?
It just looks so bizarre. Oh, free downloadable content where you can lie with your girlfriend. Oh my gosh. I'll just.
Oh boy.
Oh my. Yeah, I've seen Gray Still Plays talk about some pretty weird stuff, but I don't know if he's talked about anything as weird as a bed lying simulator.
Did you see that there's it's not out yet, but it's coming out soon, a Pope simulator?
Oh, really? I haven't seen
Yes.
this one. I haven't seen this one.
Now the thing is, I don't know if it's tongue in cheek or not.
I got to
Because
see.
it looks. I mean, I'm hoping, because like they showed some of the things where you as the Pope can influence politics and stuff. I'm hoping you can be an evil Pope.
What about I am your president?
Well, I don't think that exists, but if it does, I haven't heard of it. But no, Pope Simulator is a real thing. And
Oh, for the love of Saint Gulick. And I see the white smoke. Oh, my word. Take over the reins of the world's largest religious institution. Use your influence to change the fate of humanity. In this realistic political strategic game, you take on the role of Pope. Release date coming soon. Oh,
Yes. And I want a copy so I can do a video about it.
Oh
'Cause
my.
yeah, I'm sincerely hoping you can be an evil pope.
I don't know. Promise them a review, and maybe they'll let you have a copy.
Nah. I'll just buy it when it comes out. I don't care.
Oh my! I'm seeing. Okay, the stuff that they've got going on over here. Okay, there's a bunch of magazine headlines, and now what else is there? There was a little girl that the Pope was blessing.
Uh-huh.
Anything about the little boys that the? Never mind.
Whoa!
Yeah, gosh, I wonder if the Pope has ever done that. Like, you hear about priests all the time, but has the Pope ever been like the little boy rapey Pope, or is that just bishops and shit?
Well, the Pope was a priest once.
Yeah, but well, I don't know. I just wonder if any of the popes have ever been like that.
I'm reasonably sure that the Renaissance popes had their share of, but in the modern age, I don't know. Now, I know that Ratzinger's brother was pretty good on corporal punishment. I guess he.
Corporal punishment.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say that every time I hear the name Ratzinger, the more childish part of me laughs a little. I'm just saying.
Go. Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't even know that popes could step down. I thought they had to die in office.
That's what I thought, and I was a Catholic. I mean, I found out when Ratzinger stepped down, that you could actually do that. So that,
and he just looked slimy.
Yes, absolutely, and it makes it all the more egregious, as far as I'm concerned, the way they held on to Wotia for long after they should have. Wotia, which one was he? John Paul II.
Oh, okay.
Because to see him in his latter days, no, he was in some really bad shape, and
well,
they could have
I used to watch Letterman all the time, and they did a video montage of him spitting while he was speaking.
Oh, jeez.
Like, obviously not on purpose, but you could see this little go and they freeze frame it, and yeah.
Okay. And I mean, the least they could have done was let the man have some peace
Dignity?
in his old age. Yes, dignity, absolutely. To see him in those last days, he was just worn down and beaten, and there was nothing left. I'm gonna have to work out a way to effectively share on here. I mean, now that I've got a couple screens to work with, maybe I can do a better job of it. If I could find some of the pictures.
So apparently there's a video game, it's not out yet, called Evil Genius 2. And it says, construct your base, train your minions, defend your operations from the forces of justice, and achieve global domination. It looks interesting. It looks fun. I'm going to put that on my wish list too.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, I don't know. Pope Simulator could be fun.
Yeah, especially for us
Although
former.
I gotta tell you, I there was this thing going around on Facebook where like for $50 they can ordain you as a bishop or something.
Oh
And I'm
goodness.
like, that's just weird. And it comes with like a bishop starter kit. I'm not even kidding.
Oh
And
no.
yeah, uh, and so I was like, I don't ever want to be a bishop because I like walking forwards.
Okay.
I get it.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
But
some
You
of,
yeah.
like
some of the
walking
chess
forward,
players in
not
the
side.
some of the
No.
chess players in the audience will get that.
Eh, everyone should get it. Who doesn't know at least what bishops do in chess?
Some people don't.
It's weird. Man, what was it? Was I watching TV or was it a live stream or something? No, I remember it was interviews with people on the street. Something about like have you read this book? Have you read that book? And so many people were like, I haven't read a book in ages. I'm like, really? Because I'm never
Goodness.
not reading a book. I'm never without a book I'm in the middle of ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that feeling definitely. Okay, let's see if I can do this. I'm just trying to put some stuff into the side here. Um, John Paul. Oh, okay. Early John Paul too. Let's put that. Okay, you over there. Go over there. All right. Now we're gonna try putting this in and see. Okay, let's see if you guys can clink. Yeah, click on that link, uh, which is
So do you want us to clink or do you want us to go to the clink?
something like that. Well, that's JP2 early in his papal career.
Well, he definitely looks younger than I remember him.
Okay, what we've got coming up now, well, remember now that he was installed as Pope in 1979 or 1980.
Really?
It
I
was
thought he was Pope a lot longer than that.
it was all about that Solidarność that was going on, before the removal of the Iron Curtain and all that stuff. He was a major figure with that.
What the heck is Solidarność?
Oh, that was the name of the Polish um, um, protest group, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Okay. This is a word I have never heard until now, and I'm not sure I knew anything about Poland revolting.
It's a word in the Polish language, but I mean
Yeah, I
that's what
don't
its
speak
name
Polish though.
is. Okay, copy image location. Here we go. Okay, you saw that picture.
Huh?
No, wait a minute. That's not.
Oh, the picture of the Pope. Okay.
No, that's not doing it right. Why is that not doing it right? Come on. Oh, I guess it is doing it right. Okay, let's see if we can get it. Okay, here is near the end of his papal career.
All right. Pastaroo. Yeah. Okay. In a weird way, you know what I'm reminded of is Joe Biden. Because, like, they've been doing these montages of him young and him now, and the cognitive decline is startling.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, people are trying to ignore it and sweep it under the rug, and it ain't happening.
yeah, we're in trouble no matter what happens, really. I don't know, maybe slightly less trouble with the President Biden, but I'm not sure how much less.
Hmm.
I mean, the only reason I still have my registration is so I can vote down ballot in the primary.
I'm definitely going to be dem exiting for the next elections.
Dem exiting?
Yes.
You've never
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 heard
heard
it?
of dem exit? Dem exit is basically Democrats saying screw this crap and not being part of the party anymore.
Yeah, dem exit.
Honestly, I think by the next presidential election there will be a third party,
I sort of hope so.
like a viable one. Enough people will what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, leave, whatever. That's not the word I'm looking for, but whatever. From the party because it just doesn't represent too many of us anymore.
Mm-mm.
Well, the
There,
one
there's
thing I'm hoping we don't see is they just leave entirely and
of course they're going to leave entirely.
expand the group that doesn't vote at all.
Oh no! Enough people are like screw this crap. Like a lot of people are going to the Green Party, for example.
Okay, okay, yeah,
You
'cause-
know, it's just that
Yeah.
the Democrats do not represent a large chunk of the population anymore.
how true.
The only problem, though, is that loyalty, especially like party loyalty, is big for Republicans. And if the left splits into too many groups, then it's going to be impossible to win elections anymore.
Yeah,
But there are a lot of us who are just like, I can't be a Democrat anymore. I can't keep supporting, can't keep throwing money, like good money after bad, for people who are not on my side. And that's something I see a lot of, like people, the vote blue no matter who people not understanding, not processing, not accepting, is that
right.
we're not going to be party loyalists, that we are issues loyalists. And there's always the like, the people who say, well, the Republicans are too dangerous. They have to be defeated now. Next time we will vote more progressive.
It's
next
always
time.
next time. It's
Next
always
time.
next time. Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people are finally refusing to drink the Kool-Aid anymore and are saying, screw this crap, and are dem exiting and going to start the. But if there's a Green Party and a Democrat Party, because not enough Democrats have finally fucking had it, then we're just going to keep losing.
Mm-hmm. Now, one of the problems involved in a dem exit that has to be dealt with, that has to be solved somehow, is that I think throughout the snafu, the Central North American Fascist Union, elections are set up in such a way that if you're not one of those parties, you have an almost insurmountable hurdle to even get on a damn ballot.
Well,
And that's got to change.
It doesn't matter anymore. I'm not willing to participate in a system that has left me behind, thrown me under the bus, handed me my hat. I'm not going to do it anymore.
Oh,
Just plain not.
No, I get that. Yeah.
But part of the problem is that after 2016, like both the progressives and the let's face it, conservative Democrats all thought that the other side learned their lesson from 2016.
Clearly
Where it's like, oh, your disloyalty is what got us Trump. No, your conservatism is what got us Trump, because you gave us nothing to vote for that made us feel like we were included. They're like, yeah, well, fall in line, citizen.
Yeah.
And like each side thought that the other realized that they had a losing strategy. We're going to keep doing what we're going to keep doing, and you have to come back to us.
Yeah.
Is what each side thought, and it didn't work.
And the corporate Democrats, the conservative Democrats, they still are very, very arrogant about that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they're absolutely brazen. They figure they can count on your vote no matter what.
Yeah.
They can just count on it.
Yeah.
And the answer is they're wrong.
No.
They're completely wrong. And it's just that not enough people have reached that fuck it point to be able to really stick it to them and let them know just how wrong they are.
Well, the darn thing, and I've said this before, and I really think there's a grain of truth to it. My thought is that the conservative Democrats may not care that they lose elections because they're comfy the way things are, no matter which way they go.
They'd rather lose with a conservative than win with a progressive.
Yeah, because
Yeah, we need progressives.
losing with the conservative keeps them comfortable, financially, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You get the conservative in power. I'm not the conservative. You get the progressive in power. They stand to lose a lot.
Mm-hmm. But do they though? I mean, right now they were saying, what is it, like 6 years from now, Jeff Bezos is on his way to being the world's first trillionaire.
Yeah, I saw
like
that.
no shit trillionaire. And it's like if we had a progressive where his taxes were pretty high, will he even notice? I mean, that's the problem with these people, is that money is the end to them. It's not a means to an end. It is the end.
Yeah.
That is what they are working towards, is money, 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 money. And it's at a point where, I mean, there's this meme going around where they're saying that these billionaires are basically just dragons sitting on their hoard of gold, where they're not using it, they're not spending it, they're just there to defend it.
Sitting on it.
That's it. But woe betide the person who tries to take it from them.
Yep.
Like the middle classers.
Like anybody.
Yeah, anybody. I mean, you don't need to throw labels around. There are enough of us out there.
But there's also a bunch of memes going around where it shows here is the tax rate of rich people, not working class, rich people. And then here is how well the economy did. Here's how well working people did.
Yes.
And it keeps showing the tax rate going down, 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 depression. And then after the depression, it goes back up high, and then it goes down, 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 depression. Every time. And it's like, maybe someone should learn this lesson, that if you're not taxing rich people at a rate that, might look absurd at first, but honestly, they never even notice it. If you don't keep doing that, everyone suffers.
Yeah.
Now, Beach says at least Gates and Buffett are giving a bunch away. I'm not sure, though, how useful or effective, or what's the word I'm looking for, that is. I think what I'm wondering is, what they're doing is that PR more than anything else. Okay. Well, they set up this foundation, toss to pittance the foundation's way, and they're great guys. But there's so much that can be done that isn't being done.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. The thing I don't get is the idea of long-term gains with like an investment up front. It's always, no, you have to earn the most you possibly can now, even if it's less than a longer term strategy. Because think about it, if there are people, working class people with a bunch of money, they're going to spend it. And but if nobody has any money, who the hell's buying your product? I mean, who is actually buying your stuff if no one can afford it?
Yeah.
And so it seems to me that if there's a lot of money in the hands of the working class, the rich people are going to do so much better than they are now.
Yeah. I mean, it was a well-known trope years ago. I worked retail back in the 70s, department store retail. And the trope back then was, if you're selling this stuff, you can't afford to buy it. And it was extremely true. So
Wait, what do you wait, rewind. When you say selling this stuff, do you mean as a cashier or as the person producing it?
okay, no, you're the cashier or whatever you called. I
Okay,
forget what the name of that person was. That actually, this was one of those
sure,
full.
but we're talking the working class versus the person who owns the business.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That
Yeah,
was the question.
yeah.
That was the
If
question.
you're the one that had the name tag and they came to the register and you rang them up, yeah, you couldn't afford to buy what you were ringing up for that person, and it was
Right.
absolutely true.
Mhm.
I mean, okay, the $2 went a lot farther than it does now, but when I was working retail, yeah, I mean, well, people who were there for decades were making a bit more, but the rest of us were making $2 an hour.
And wages have been pretty stagnant since the early 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On purpose. On
Mm-hmm.
purpose. Like
Yep.
the minimum wage has not kept up with inflation
Right. Absolutely.
Why has it been that way on purpose?
because it benefits the rich.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, the rich who want to keep the poor people getting poorer so that their money isn't infringed upon.
Well, I mean that well, it's not just that though, is if they keep people in permanent poverty where they're living paycheck to paycheck, they have no choice but to keep doing it because they can't leave without losing their health care. They can't leave without being worried that they can't pay rent, et
Mhm.
cetera, et cetera. There's just so much that they can't like they're trapped is the problem. They're
Like us,
Yeah.
completely
and
trapped.
Grandma doesn't seem to recognize that. She actually
Well, no,
called me my mother's free meal ticket once.
okay, but the point is that the rich people want you in that situation so that you can't leave, so that you have to
Yes.
do their bidding.
And this is why it is so difficult to free yourself from the so-called social safety net, even in the face of the rich, the privileged, etc., 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 demeaning you for being there. Is that we don't want you there, but we're not going to let you get out of it either.
Yep.
It's like, if you don't want us there, then help us get out.
But they won't. They want us there. That's the whole point.
Yeah, upon whose backs are they going to ride if we are not where we
They
are?
they want a permanent slave class is what they want.
Yeah. I believe there are people who have said in as many words, are there not, that they would like to see slavery reinstituted.
Well, but it depends on what you mean by I mean, because I'm sure there's white supremacists out there who've said that and mean it in Civil War style. I'm sure there's other people who said it hyperbolically, but in effect, it would be the same thing, even though it's no longer the whips and chains and lynchings.
Yeah.
And it's not color based, it's income based.
Yeah.
This
I
is one
feel
of
like
the
I'm.
reasons I'm really happy I am where I am. I mean, I have said many times that, like, if you don't have to pay rent, you can live really, really, really well. I mean, really well, if you don't have to pay rent.
Mm.
What about
And
taxes?
I mean, because I'm living on less than minimum wage right now, and it's lovely where I am simply because I'm not paying for rent, I'm not paying for health care.
I was going to say it does help that California is pretty good with social services.
I mean, it's funny though, because when you are doing your reviews, because they will look at how much you're making and all of that stuff every month. They don't look at your savings. You know, they don't go, oh yeah, okay, you're making less than minimum wage, but you have like 10 grand in the bank. They don't look at that part. They don't care about that part.
That would be nice if they did that here. Because I try to keep some money aside. Or the way I do things when I'm paying my rent. In another week, I will take money out of the bank. I will pay the rent for June. and then when I get my June check, I'll take the rent's worth of money out of that and put it back into the bank. Now, what I would like to be able to do is stay on top of a possible security deposit. If ever I have to move, I'm going to need a security deposit, because I won't get the security deposit instantly for this place. If I get it at all, I'll have to have the money ready. And with the particular subsystem I'm in on Section 8, it's not a month's worth of the rent you pay. It's a month's worth of market rate that you have to come up with for a security deposit. So, I mean, when I moved in here, it was $600. I don't know what it is now. It's certainly more than that. But I like to have that much set aside and everything. But the way they look at the money, I mean, yeah, hi guys, you're listening in, I know all that shit. I'll probably have to get a floor safe and keep it in there in cash, such that it's that much harder to trace. But it's a necessary thing to have that money set aside, because it's pretty well a given that it's eventually going to be needed.
Well, I don't know. They like, I don't know. It's just so weird the way we live right now. I mean, because there was a time, decades before I was ever born, where it was the whole American dream, where you can show up in this country with nothing and work your way up to being like mega wealthy without a huge education. But now most of the jobs require a degree.
Mhm.
And okay, it's sort of become a trope, except it's totally true, where you go looking for a job in the tech industry and they say you need 5 years experience to apply for this job. And it's like, but how do you get that experience until you have a job?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's this whole
Figure it out.
Well, there is no figuring it out.
Exactly.
They either have to take a chance on you or recognize at some point that they have 5 years experience required themselves out of anyone able to work for them. But starting an indie business these days is next to impossible. So the American dream is dead.
Yeah.
You're kidding, it's been dead.
Well, yes, but if it's been dead, it is dead, isn't it? But I mean, the thing is, like, there are some avenues where you could potentially still hit that American dream. For example, I was looking at video games on Steam just a bit ago, you may have noticed, and you can make an indie game and put it up there. And if it's good enough, you can make bank. It's the same thing with YouTube. It's the same thing with online comics. You might not be starting your own business exactly, but you can still make a bunch of money by being creative on your own. But that's like one of the rare instances. And how many games are out there, indie games are out there, that never go anywhere? You could spend years of your life working on a project and no one gives a rat's. You know what I mean? So it's chancy, but that potential is still there. I'm really worried that people will see this Quinn Redshift animation I'm working on and go, whatever. I mean, because like these days, the tendency of sci-fi is towards the uber realistic and the grim and the dark. And I'm working on something that harkens back to more like, well, no, it's not just that it's fun. It's that it very deliberately says, science, screw that. I'm making up my own science because it's science fiction, not science fiction. If you see what I'm saying, I'm going back to the like, when I think of here, like Spaceman Spiff, Duck Dodgers, like that, Buzz Lightyear, that kind of thing. Because I mean, you look at early sci-fi from like the beginning of this century, people made up so much stuff Like Mars is populated kind of stuff. Yeah, Venus is full of sexy women, all of that stuff. I'm sort of like trying to recall that. But I have a feeling that people these days aren't willing to accept that because they want their science to be realistic. They want their space battles with spaceships to conform to Newtonian physics and this, that, and the other thing. And so I have a feeling people will look at what I did and either they'll go, breath of fresh air, this old like pulp style, or they'll go, but science,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not sure what'll happen, but I could spend 2-3 years out of my life working on this animation and have it go nowhere. And that scares me a little. I mean, I'm making it as much for myself as for anything else, but I'd love to
people will
see,
like it.
well, maybe not. I don't know. I'd like to see it go somewhere. But it might be like that indie game where, people go, oh, you did a thing. Okay, next. I don't know.
I think people will like it because there's a lot of humor involved in it.
No, there's not.
It depends upon how you look at it and what your sense of humor is.
But there's no humor in it.
Not intentional.
Well, okay, but I'm hoping people don't laugh at it.
I'm not
like,
talking. I'm talking. They're gonna smile when they read it. They're going to enjoy
read.
it.
There's no reading. This is an animation.
Some things you put on there have words. Your cartoons and stuff.
Yes, but I'm talking about something very specific. I'm not talking about head meats. I'm talking about Quinn Redshift.
But you're producing both of them.
Well, yes, but I'm right now talking about Quinn Redshift. I'm hoping people look at, because that's the one that's going to take me like a year or more to build. Whereas head meats I can do in 10 seconds. Well, 10 seconds, 20 minutes. But still, the point being that the Quinn Redshift is the sci-fi thing I was just talking about, the one that harks back to Buzz Lightyear type stuff.
Yes, dear.
Sure. But point being that if people look at that and go, whatever, I'm going to be disappointed.
I think they'll like it.
Well, I hope so. I don't know.
I don't know. It's a really disheartening thing, if you will, where it's almost a general rule when you're producing something. If you like it, nobody else will. It's one of those things.
Yeah, that worries me a bit. But you can see, like, this is the kind of thing I'm building. It has a slight anime vibe to it.
Slight.
But yeah. So I mean, but what if, because you can see it's got the whole like little Jetsons rings coming out of the ass end of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
If that doesn't tell you what this is supposed to be, nothing will. But I suspect people might look at it and go, but this is in that sort of Futurama style. Shouldn't it be funny, kitschy? And I'm like, no, I'm actually trying to do it serious.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people will not be able to wrap their brain around it, because when you do something in that rings around everything Jetson style, they expect it to be tongue-in-cheek.
Anyway, I'm going to head off because I got stuff I want to do and I don't want the stuff transferring through the mic because that has happened before. So, see you guys.
Bye, sweetie.
Take care.
But Vibrantly Brantley is like, so we too can make it big like you. If you think I've made it big, you have no idea what big is.
Bigger than me.
Well,
There are reasons for that. You're better than I am, but what you do.
but still, I mean, big is, if I had made it big, I'd have subscriber numbers similar to, say, Telltale or Arn Ra. That's making it big. Right now, there are people who started their channels after I did who have like twice my subscriber numbers. It's very frustrating. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, if anything. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it is that little thing I just mentioned. Maybe it is partly you like it, so it's outside the realm of a lot of people.
Maybe, I don't know, but there's not that much that's different about my videos that's like, unlike other atheists. Not really.
Yeah, the problem.
So, I mean,
the problem with something like that is, though, okay, if you say if you like it, nobody else is going to like it. So you try to do what somebody else's are going to like, and you're hating it, and you're dragging yourself to work every morning. You know, even if it's from the bedroom to the studio, and that's no good either. You know.
Yeah. Well, and or you can do it for 12 years and get really, 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 really tired.
Mm-hmm.
There's that too. Because honestly, there are times I just want to not do it, but I got to pay the bills somehow. And I wonder if I'd be feeling the same way if I was seeing a bit more success than I have. You know? Maybe I'd be like, ooh, look at all my popularity. I'm going to keep doing this. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it would be one of those, especially. Well, I know you've said that you don't need the bankroll necessarily, but you know, if you lived a little better than you do now, even though where you're living is comfortable right now. I mean, but still, you had for a few extra luxuries and that sort of thing. Maybe that would be enough to keep you going. I don't know. You know, but still not enough to sell out for. That's the thing.
Well, and that is definitely a point. Is I like not having to sell out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and actually, in a way, I do need the monetization. And I'll tell you why. It's because if you're monetized, you show up in the algorithm more.
Okay. So you're easier to find on a
even if
search.
I was making buckus, which I kind of am, I'm lucky to make $100 in a month. Usually it's less from ads. But it still means that they want to promote me because they'll make money off of my shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Nah. And it's funny because I do get a lot of people, like if I'm on someone else's channel for one reason or another, I'll get a lot of people saying Bionic Dance doesn't get enough love in this community. And I'm like, damn right I don't, but how do you do something about it?
Yeah.
I don't know. One thing I did do recently, I don't know, do you watch Prophet of Zod?
Not as much as I really should. I know he's got some really good stuff, and I really should spend all my time, you know,
So know
watching.
that. He did a thing recently where he asked people to sing his theme song, make up your own lyrics and sing his theme song. And I decided to animate it. Not just do it, but animate Sandra singing it. And he loved it. And he put it on his most recent video, and it got me like 100 subscribers in 2 days. So doing that kind of thing helps.
Yeah, the catchy stuff definitely, you know, grabs people's attention.
One thing I've been thinking about doing, you know, Surus likes to have fan art at the beginning of his video.
Yes.
And I was thinking of making his character into a CGI character and doing fan art that way. But at the same time, I'm already working on Quinn Redshift. So maybe if I desperately need a break from that, I will do that for Surus. But for now, I'm working on my own project. I need to stay focused. I have so many like irons in the fire that I keep forgetting to work on some of them because there's so many of them. I need to finish a project, not just start one.
Yeah. Now you're talking about Sirius. There's Rocket Man for you. He officially started after I did, if I remember correctly. So it's only been a couple of years, and he's taken off like wildfire.
Well, did you see what happened to Mr. Atheist? My gosh, did he take off?
Yes, absolutely. Uh-huh. And I was there when he was just getting started.
Mm-hmm. It's frustrating too, because I don't know what's so great about his videos. He's okay. I like him enough, or at least I like his content enough. But why does everyone else go ooh over him? I don't get it. You know,
I don't know.
I mean, he's not that special.
It may be in part to his ex-cult member status. it seems that the ex-Mormons, the ex-Johos, um, that group seemed to get a larger audience more quickly than, say your ex-Catholics or atheists from birth or stuff like that. Why, I'm not sure,
Well,
but they do seem to.
one thing I have noticed is that the more of an asshole you are, the more people tend to watch you. Like, take a look at Atheism is Unstoppable or Mr. Atheist.
Oh,
Or, no, sorry,
Lord.
not Mr. Atheist, The Amazing Atheist. Mr. Atheist can be a bit of a wank, too. So, assholes tend to be popular. But the problem is that I don't know any female assholes who are popular. It might be that people will rebel against that because women are supposed to be all sweet,
Well,
So,
that's a point right there. It is.
well, if I decide to adopt an asshole persona, it might go badly for me.
It probably would go badly for you. Yes.
It's just like I have no avenues towards success because there is no magic bullet and there is no this is what you're doing wrong that I can refer to. So, I mean, I just keep doing what I'm doing and hoping for the best and getting pretty much nowhere.
That's, what it's like in the public sphere, isn't it?
Mhm. Well, it's one of the things like I've talked about maybe wanting to go to LA and try to get into TV or movies. A number of people have told me that I should try to get into acting, but I've talked about how I'd rather be a professional extra to be in the background of everything and never looking for that career that makes you into a star. You know,
Hmm.
because if you set your bar low enough, it's easy to achieve it. And if you set your bar too high, you're just inevitably going to be disappointed. So it's like I know I'm never going to be a megastar. It's never going to happen, and I'm fully aware of that and accept that. So why not go with the intent of always being an extra, always being in the background?
Yeah, and going in that direction, there's a lot of load that is not on your shoulders. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, because I mean, I don't know if extras have to audition, but I would imagine if you don't have any lines, they just go, yeah, 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 sit in that chair and stay there until the episode's done.
Yeah, I
You
think that's
know?
pretty much the way it works. Yeah.
And I can do that. And I mean, if it really comes down to it and I want a speaking role, I can go and say, look, I'll be your alien in makeup. I'll be your zombie. I'll be this, that, or the other thing where no one has to see this ugly mug. Shut up, Clarion. No, but I mean, no, but seriously, like, let's face it, this face is going nowhere in Hollywood, and that's that. Okay. I mean, even if by man on the street standards I might be vaguely tolerable or even attractive in Hollywood, this is a non-starter, and we all know it. In Hollywood, that context specifically, right?
Okay,
But
I'll accept that.
but if you cover this in prosthetic makeup and make me a Klingon, I might be able to do it.
Mm.
And I mean, that's similar to something Terry Gilliam said, where he's like, look, I'm never going to be a major character in Monty Python. I'm your animator, and you keep putting me in there as this, that, or the other thing. And you notice all of his roles are like the creepy guy, who barely says anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I could do that too. I don't know.
Well, Red, you take care, okay? Glad to have you here. Hope we'll see you again. And, well, we'll see what we can do about safe and healthy. Might be worth a try.
What is this safe and healthy of which you speak?
I'm not sure. I think, well, in my particular case, very likely involves not leaving the house. Uh, or hell, unsafe and unhealthy might seek me out and find me here for all I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Harmonica Man, that's pretty much, yeah, it's supposed to the land of the pretty people. Dumb, but pretty.
Well, I
Um,
mean, it's funny how many people out there in Hollywood have like PhDs and no one knows it.
okay.
That is a thing. Like, okay, you ever watch The Big Bang Theory?
Way back when.
Okay, well, then maybe you never got to the character of Amy Farrah Fowler, played by Mayim Bialik. She is like a doctor of one thing or another, some scientific discipline. I don't remember which.
Oh,
And most people aren't aware of that.
okay, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I saw a few episodes of Big Bang Theory back around 2012.
Mm. Well, I'm just saying, though, is there are definitely some smart people out there in Hollywood, and a lot of people don't know that they are.
Okay, okay.
But there's a lot we don't know about actors. I mean, what was it like? No more than 5 years ago, I found out that Tom Hanks is or was a smoker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, little things like that. No, I had no idea. Or that one dude whose last name I can never pronounce from Babylon 5, the guy who played Jakar, Andreas Katsoulas, I don't know how the hell to pronounce it. He smokes too. And apparently, like some of his co-stars thought it was the funniest thing, him in this alien Narn makeup smoking a cigarette.
Okay then.
I imagine that would look kind of funny.
Yeah, I could just kind of picture it in a way. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Hold on a sec. Let me get this copy image. And paste. And then share screen. There we go. There is Jakar smoking a butt.
All right, I like it.
So he's dead now, unfortunately.
Lung cancer, right?
I don't know actually what got him. I just know that like a huge, huge proportion of the actors from Babylon 5 are very dead now.
Oh my, oh my, oh my.
Let's see, there he is. And yeah, he died in 2006. Also, yeah, okay, yeah, lung cancer.
All right.
What's kind of funny about that though is like you saw him in the alien makeup there.
Yeah.
He without the alien makeup is significantly less attractive.
Okay, okay. And that's the kind of funny thing, though. You know, he died of lung cancer. I find it interesting. No sooner, what do we have here? Aw. Yeah. I usually don't go aw over little flesh loaves, but in this case, I guess I can.
Let's see, copy. Like here, that's him without the makeup on, and here's another one. Not the world's most attractive man, but what you gonna do?
That's interesting, though. Basically, no sooner did I quit smoking than I turned up with my kidney problem. It's like, oh, I gave up tobacco for this. Hey, yay! Oh, well. That was funny in its realm.
All right, my dad said something on Facebook. I had to reply to him. Yeah. It's like we were talking about robocalls because I like a couple of days ago I got 3 of them in the space of an hour, and I'm like, what the hell, right? And so he said if I don't recognize the number, I like if it's not in my contacts, I just let it go to voicemail if someone wants to to get back to me. And I was like, I never check voicemail. I should say that on my voicemail message. I don't check this. Text or email me. You know?
Mhm. Yeah, that's
So.
that's basically what I'll end up doing is I'll look at the number that shows up on the flip phone, and if I don't recognize it, I won't open up the flip phone. And it's amazing how many times I've looked at the number on the flip phone when somebody is calling, and it's my number. So
Really?
yes,
I didn't even know that was possible.
I guess there's some way that you can set up a spoofer to accept the number that you're calling as its input and display that. You know, all of these robo numbers are spoofed anyway. They are.
Well, it's how
I remember.
they get people's names to show up on caller ID under a number that's not really who they're calling from, and you answer it thinking it's somebody or a business, and it's these robocalls.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I remember there was a way. I forget how to do it now, but there was a way on landlines to you dial something and then hang up, and the phone rings.
Oh, I remember that.
I remember when I was little, I thought it was the most fun prank to do to my parents.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was a 3-number combination that you dialed, and you literally dialed it, by the way. And
Well,
then
yeah. You could do it push, but
the phone made a noise at you, and then you dialed one more number and hung up, and then it would ring. Yeah, and it was the number that servicemen would use as far as checking the connection somehow. You know, if they got the phone to ring after they did that, okay, that part of the connection works. Because oh shit, I remember doing that shit, and no, I don't want to mention how many years ago, but it was a while ago.
Yeah, but the robocalls, I keep getting that one with the Chinese lady.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about? I am so sick and tired of that one where it's like your visa is going to expire and you have to like do this, that, and the other thing. And I mean, I don't speak Chinese. I looked it up what the hell she was saying, and it's like this thing where if you're an illegal immigrant from China, this is supposed to scare you into doing whatever the hell the robocall wants you to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd been getting those
And
calls.
of course, it's totally not true.
I've been getting those calls for quite a while. I mean, a couple of years.
And they always come from a different number. If you try to block that number on your cell phone, if your cell phone can do it, they'll just call you back from something else.
Yes.
Yep. I've been getting calls about a Google business, and it's like, I don't have a Google business.
Well, that's one of the things they use with these robocalls is a spray and pray strategy, where it's like, well, if we call enough people, eventually we'll hit someone this applies to.
If it's a robocaller, I just hang up without even really listening
and then
to it.
block the number.
Back when I had a landline, there was something I was able to do that I can no longer do because I don't have a landline. Something called No-Mo Robo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a service you signed up with and everything, and the number would be routed to them, and if it was on their list of suspicious numbers, you would only hear one ring, and that would be it. You know, they would hang up on it, but if it wasn't on their list, it came back to you, and everything was fine. I had that for a couple of years.
Well, one thing I've come to realize, I mean, when I got my cell phone, and I've had the same cell phone number since I first got a cell phone, I got it in Seattle. And so if I ever see a phone call with a Seattle area code, 9 times out of 10, you know what? Make it more like 19 times out of 20. It is not one of my friends from Seattle. It's a robocall, and they're calling from a Seattle number because they see my Seattle area code and figure I'll trust it if it comes from 206.
Mm.
And so now if I see a Seattle area code, I'm like, this is a fucking robocall, isn't it?
Mm.
So, you know, it's a thing.
Yeah, I've even had one of the people calling that we've noticed specific, not specific, suspicious activity on your computer line.
Oh.
We'll check it for you for the low price and all this. And what I would love to do is lead them on. And okay, now we need to share your screen, and I already knew it was safe to pull this, so Okay, here we go. Now I'm not able to connect with your screen. What version of Windows are you using? Ubuntu 12. Click.
Well, you know, okay, in this day of the internet, do like pay for sex talk lines still exist? The dirty phone lines.
Oh, jeez,
You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I absolutely know.
Porn lines, they do.
Yeah, which it just seems weird to me that they would exist, because these days, if you're on the internet, you can get your own porn, and probably a much more niche, kinky ass porn than what they will offer on those sex lines. You know, but I don't know, I just have to wonder. I only even remember those because, like, we're in lockdown, and I've been watching like a lot of television, that like old television that streams, and I got to a Seinfeld episode where Kramer had been calling those sex lines, and it was part of the plot. And I was like, oh my gosh, I remember those. Never called one, but I remember their existence.
Hmm. Gods. The last time I ever knew of any of those existing was 30 years ago. Now, that's only the because you would find those numbers advertised in the back pages of certain magazines.
Well, they even advertised them right on television itself.
Yeah, they did.
What, the 900 numbers, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about these were not 900 numbers, but they're more or less the same sort of thing.
You know, Seinfeld is actually really stressful to watch. I had to stop around about season 3. I couldn't take it anymore.
Oh?
I switched to Grey's Anatomy,
Okay.
which I had never seen before. But yeah, while watching Seinfeld, I was just like, these people are stressing me out.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to stop watching.
It's one of the reasons I never watched it. I don't like Seinfeld. They have such manic personalities.
And they're like extraordinarily disgusting, selfish people.
Yes.
You could only have made that show in the 90s.
Yeah.
It's like one of the 90est shows I can point to.
Oh.
But I don't know. I think I was going to say something more about those. Oh, yes, I remember now. There was something I had completely forgotten about until I rewatched the movie The Wizard. Now, I don't know if you know The Wizard, but it was basically a movie-length advertisement for Super Mario Brothers 3. It was the Nintendo movie, and the whole thing was like these kids take a road trip to get to some Nintendo championship that the autistic younger brother, like, he was this video game wizard. And so they were trying to like win something with this contest. Like, I forget why it was so important that they win the contest, but it was super important because like the prize money could pay for their house or something. I don't know. But at one point, one of the kids calls the Nintendo Game Counselor line, which I'd completely forgotten about, where you like pay to call these people that are video game experts who would tell you how to beat levels that you couldn't get past. And I had completely forgotten that existed. completely.
Oh my.
But that was totally a thing. If you needed help with a video game, you could call up a video game expert and they'd say, "Oh, yeah, you beat Shinobi by doing this. Hit A when you get to that part of the screen, blah, de, blah, de, blah." It was just so fucked up that that ever existed.
What, for $5 a minute or something like that?
Something, yeah.
Something like that. All right, ladies, I'm going to head off. I am
Daprajne?
going to go play some Sniper Elite with a
I'm
friend
not
of
sure
mine.
how much longer I'm going to last either. I'm getting hungry, didn't have breakfast.
Oh
So-
my,
Well,
my.
it is 3:00.
It's noon here.
Yeah, so it's definitely
Yeah.
going on evening time. So you ladies have a good day. Bye, Diana.
You be
nice chatting
good.
with you. Oh, I will. Bye,
Yay.
Kate. Nice talking to you too.
Have fun,
Oh,
or
yeah.
else
I'm gonna
you'll
go
be
have
punished
fun
if you don't
and-
have fun.
Ooh, punish me.
Not that kind of punish. The kind
Oh.
of punish you won't enjoy.
Okay. That's seeing my mother. And I have to do that later anyway, so.
Hmm.
Damned if I do, damned if I don't. Damn it.
Actually, I will give Tornado caffeine.
Okay, he has caffeine.
I will
He's
give
always
him
like
more
this.
caffeine.
That's okay. I'll deal with it. I'm used to it.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Fine, I'll give him meth.
Oh, there
That
you
I'd have to kill you
go.
for.
I don't know. Maybe it would calm him down.
No, not him.
Uh,
We've tried the medicine route and doesn't work.
okay.
Half the stuff it goes through his system and he ignores it. So
Hmm.
Diana, you have a red light flashing behind you. What is that?
Oh, that's the. Yeah, where my thumb is. That is the light
Yeah.
that indicates that my hard drive is doing something.
Okay, all right. That's a huge tower. Good God.
No, it's only
a
about
big tower.
18 inches tall.
It's wide though. It's extremely wide.
What? It's only as wide
Oh,
as a DVD drive.
Okay, it just looks. I guess because the color it's shadowed.
That in the perspective maybe, because
Yeah.
the camera is not pointed straight at it.
That would be it.
Um,
Okay, all right. Well, bye, ladies.
Take care,
Have
dear.
fun.
Yep, I'll see you Tuesday.
Oh, thanks for the warning.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Mate
Tuesday.
Petrojte.
Trying to remember, is there anything going on next week at all? Never mind on Tuesday. I can't think of a thing. I really miss my board game nights. It was like the one chance I really had to get out and socialize with people online. Just because it's like really, really, really local to me and I don't have to spend 10, 15 bucks on an Uber ride to get where I'm going.
Okay,
Like, I want to
then,
get back into that lightsaber group, but of course there's the plague, and even when there isn't, it's way the fuck out in La Jolla, and that's hard to get
Oh,
to.
jeez, man, yeah.
Everything is in La Jolla, it seems like.
I actually know where La Jolla is. That amazes me.
Mm.
Oh, well.
I know I've mentioned it before, but it's weird. Like, so many TV shows, especially if they're set on the West Coast, will make reference to Seattle or San Diego at some point. In fact, in Grey's Anatomy, one of the characters like turned down a job in San Diego to go to the hospital in the show that's in Seattle. I'm like, okay, you guys are just taking the piss now.
Hey, little one, come on, be nice.
Because, I mean, seriously, like San Diego and Seattle come up almost as often as LA, San Francisco, or Chicago, or New York.
Okay,
Those are like
then.
the go-to cities, it seems.
No Cleveland, huh?
I think if I really think about it, I can name one show that took place in Cleveland, and I might be wrong about it too.
I'm pretty sure I know which one that is.
Drew Carey?
Sure is, yeah. It took place in Cleveland.
Mhm. I can name exactly one TV show that took place in Vermont.
Yeah, well, that was Newhart.
Mm-hmm. I wonder, TV shows set in Vermont. There's probably some that I don't know. Uh, wow. Clifford the Big Red Dog was set in Vermont. Something called Family Trade. I've never. Lassie? Oh, but it says 1997, so it was like a rework. And it was in Canada.
Vermont,
But apparently
Canada?
it was set. No, no, no. It's a Canadian TV show, but apparently it was set in Vermont.
Oh, okay.
And then there's Newhart, the story of Pollyanna, Girl of Love, and it's
That's-
anime. I'm not even kidding. It's anime.
it sounds
Um,
questionable.
Three Moons Over Milford, an American science fiction dramedy set in a picturesque small town in southern Vermont. Now I'm wondering what town that is. And there's something called Where Is My Friend's Home? Something made in South Korea that's set in Vermont. Weird. All right, let's see. All it says is a southern town in Vermont. It doesn't say what town.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. A southern town in Vermont. So they picked up Macon, Georgia, and dropped it on Vermont. No,
No,
no.
no, no.
Oh, little one, little one. Those are claws. No, 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 no. And they're sharp.
Wow, this plot sounds fucked up. It says here, shortly before the series begins, an asteroid hits the moon, shattering it into 3 fragments, threatening to eventually fall to Earth and end life. Thus, the continuous threat of an imminent judgment day causes many people to question their lives and live them to extremes by quitting jobs, indulging vices, and living as if each day were their last.
Okay.
Really? Never height of it. But it says here that, let's see, Laura Davis, mother of the Davis family, who struggles with the emotional strain and major changes occurring in the wake of the moon incident. Her husband, Carl, a local industry leader, abandoned the family after the moon incident to live in a yurt some distance away from the family home, and it says left the country to climb the 7 summits. Shortly thereafter, funds are discovered missing from Carl's company, and the family's property and assets are seized, leaving the family homeless. Laura starts work for local attorney Mac McIntyre, and they become close. Okay.
That's the
This
bit
sounds like
rush.
a really fucked up show.
I tell you, it sounds like somebody was indulging in a little too much kimchi.
And you know what? It looks like there is exactly 1 male character in the show. No, sorry, 2. 2 male characters in the show, and 1, 2, 3, 4 female. Okay, so it's fairly even. There was a TV show I really enjoyed called The Last Man on Earth, and that title is completely inaccurate, but it's a really fun show. It's like a post-apocalyptic comedy. And it gets pretty twisted after a while. It's definitely worth watching, despite the fact that it ended on a cliffhanger and was never resolved.
Oh, hate when that happens.
But on the Wikipedia page, they describe what was coming. So you know what was going to happen, even though the show never showed it.
Okay, then. Okay.
Yeah.
But I guess that kind of stuffs the title I had in my head. I was going to try to expand it into, at the very least, a short story. But the title is The Second Last Man on Earth. But I don't know, maybe I can still fool around with it. We'll see what happens.
Wait a minute, that was Jack Black? I'm going to have to rewatch this. There's a bunch of like guest stars here, and some of them are ones I've never heard of, but others are people like Will Ferrell and Martin Short, and apparently Jack Black. Wait a minute, Laura Dern? Oh, that's right. I remember that episode. Okay.
Yay.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Chris Elliott was in a bunch of episodes. Right. And it does have a decent cast. Like Mary Steenburgen is in it. And I really don't know who the hell January Jones is. But Kristen Schaal, whose name I can never properly pronounce. I never liked her. She looks weird. Well, she does. And the main character and also the creator of the show, Will Forte, he played Randy Wampus on How I Met Your Mother. The guy who started his own beer company.
Oh.
You know, have a nice big glass of Wampus.
All right.
Oh.
And then we got the little one over there. Being the little one.
Tim Allen. You know, I hear that off screen, off camera, Tim Allen's real dick.
I have heard the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually know who that is. Amazing, isn't it?
I know, right? Well, he's Buzz Lightyear and Captain Taggart. Oh, yeah, and Tim the Toolman Taylor, but whatever. Oh, hey, apparently it's Von Rick's anniversary?
Well,
I missed something. Oh, 25th wedding anniversary. Von Rick, you're older than I thought. Unless you got married at 12. Well, you never know. I mean, these days people are doing things later and later. As I understand it, the lifespan for people has increased by decades in the last couple of, decades. You know, so it's like a lot of people are getting married at 30-something instead of, you know, immediately out of high school. And so, like, your 25th anniversary could happen when you're 80.
there you go.
So, and it must have been weird to live at a time when the human lifespan was about 30.
I don't know. Or would it be weird only to someone like us looking in it, you know, from the outside?
Well, maybe, but I mean, like, I'm 44, and I'm like, what, probably less than halfway through my life at this point, assuming nothing disastrous happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I look back on everything I've done in my life, and I'm like, I can do all of that all over again, or at least that much stuff all over again.
Okay, then, yeah. Well, I remember when I hit 35, I remember thinking, okay, I've made it farther than Mozart.
Well, I remember when I was a kid, they had a TV show, and I never watched it, called 30-something, where everyone was obsessing about the fact that oh no, I'm 30, my life is over, my youth is over, this and you know, now I'm middle-aged at 30. You know, here I am, I'm 44, I don't look it, and I don't act it, and I don't feel it either. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that 30 threshold of now you're over the hill was maintained through Hollywood until at least the end of the 90s.
Yeah.
Now I see people obsessing over 40 or 45 rather than 30, but back in the 80s, 30 was that threshold beyond which you are no longer a viable member of the dating scene, for example. You know?
Mm-hmm.
What you gonna do? Life has changed significantly. Like I think that we definitely have an exponential curve for how different life has gotten. You know, where it's like you start in the year 1000, and things get slowly, whoosh, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I remember there was a movie I watched when I was a kid called Explorers. Awesome movie. You need to watch it. And I think it was 85, 86 when this came out. Might even have been 84. where one of the characters had a computer. And one of the other characters was talking to a third character when the first character wasn't around, going, it doesn't make him so smart just because he has a computer. I mean, I can do it. It's not that tough. Where like having a computer was this amazing thing that nobody else does. And now look at us. We carry around a freaking computer
Yeah.
in our pockets, never mind our desktop machines, you know. It's like what is this, 100 times the computing power of the thing they went to the moon in, and all that stuff. And so I mean, life has changed so significantly in the last couple of decades, far surpassing how much life changed from say 1800 to 1900.
Yeah.
We just live in such a weird world. Mostly I'm okay with it, but there are some things I could do without.
Yeah, it's amazing though, you know, when you're talking about that, and I think about it, it's only a little over 100 years ago that we left the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, powered flight anyway, but
Well, it's not really flight if it's not powered. You're mostly just gliding.
yeah, yeah.
Or I suppose, whatchamacallit, hot air balloons and stuff.
Yeah, those have been around for a few centuries. Trying to remember 17 what was the, I am going to look this up.
Oh, it's not that important. But it's interesting, like the, shit, brain not work now. I was going to say something, now I don't remember.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, I remember. It's interesting to see footage of some of the things that people did to try to fly.
Oh,
You know, like
yes.
that one thing where it looked like an umbrella, and then there was
Uh-huh.
this carriage underneath it, and it was going kaboing, kaboing,
Yes,
kaboing to try to like
yes.
push the air down. So, I mean, some of the attempts to fly are just ridiculous.
The one film I've mentioned a couple of times that I really dearly love, those daring young men and their flying machines, has a whole composite of those to start the film off. The one I really like is the aircraft that had something like 7 or 8 wings. You see a taxiing and then just sort of
Oh,
crumple.
it just
Yeah.
yeah.
And 21 November 1783 was the first untethered manned hot air balloon flight.
1883.
1783.
Okay.
Moo.
But yeah, so it's flying and stuff. I am definitely starting to get really hungry.
Uh-oh. That kind of signals, that's usually signaling the need for food.
Usually.
Usually.
I find I'm quite addicted to food. The withdrawal pangs are terrible, and I have to go back to it.
Yeah, I know. There's just something about that craving that develops, and it's an insistent sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. I'm not happy about it at all.
I mean, there are times that I'd like to go without food for a day or two. I mean, if my tummy is giving me problems, and I will sometimes still get hungry and want to eat, and then I know that if I do eat, I'm going to feel like shit for the next 24 hours.
Mm.
You know, so it's a matter of, okay, which way do I want to feel like shit?
So, you know how before the plague hit, I was trying to get solar panels
Mm-hmm.
for my home. I kind of figured, well, the plague hit, so now we can't do that, you know, because no one can come over to install them without being in danger of plague, right? But it turns out they're still working on it. And it turns out that they do an individual CAD design for every home. So like everything's personalized that way. But the reason I bring it up is like I found out about 2-3 days ago that the whole thing is still on because they sent me a note saying, yeah, we're still designing your panels, and also here's a bunch of cookies. They sent me like 4 packs of cookies.
Oh my.
Yeah. So, well, I guess that's a thing.
So okay, that lends a whole new thing with you get a cookie. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of them were white chocolate. Some of them were chocolate cookies with chocolate chips, and 2 of them were just regular cookies with chocolate chips.
No no chocolate ghost pepper cookies.
Ghost pepper. I'm going to say no.
Uh
Why do I have a feeling I'm missing a reference?
Oh, no, there are peppers that are called ghost peppers, and they are extremely, extremely, extremely hot. Aaron loves them.
Okay, but I thought there was a cultural thing somewhere, like someone had done this to someone else.
No, I just thought I would throw the two together. I think there are foods that combine chocolate and jalapenos. I think that's been done.
You know what I really want again is more Kung Pao chicken. I know. I got to learn how to make that myself so I don't have to keep getting like takeout.
Oh my, oh my. I'm just gonna, for the heck of it, okay, let's see what a recipe looks like and see if it sounds like
That's
something
the
you would
problem with
eat.
that though. When I look up recipes like that, they inevitably say, "Okay, here's how to make it from scratch." Like when I first wanted to make my own pork fried rice, barbecue pork fried rice, they listed all these ingredients and buying it all was so expensive. But then it turns out you can just buy the sauce and you don't need to go through all that rigmarole. And so I'm willing to bet that there's, don't buy all that sauce that you can do for Kung Pao chicken, and I just won't be able to find it because everything has you making it from scratch.
Okay, now this thing I'm looking at, it says Kung Pao stir fry. That's basically what you're talking about?
I guess
It's a,
I know the dish has Kung Pao chicken.
okay, there are 6 main ingredients in the sauce to make the perfect Kung Pao chicken: chicken broth or stock, light soy, dark soy, hoisin, Chinese black vinegar, and Chinese wine. Um, I mean, is that one of those things that's going to be way too expensive, or
Yes.
okay?
Oh yes. Like the I'm not even sure how to pronounce the hoisin sauce stuff is so expensive.
Okay, yeah, that's when I'm seeing it, I'm seeing hoisin, but I'm thinking French, so yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
thinking
it's very
Chinese.
not French. But and like 2 tablespoons of white wine is what I'm seeing, and I'm like, white wine, my ass! Like I have any white wine. I don't
Um,
even know what the hell cornstarch is. I mean, I know what it does, but I don't really know what it is, and I don't care. I don't have any, is the point. And I don't have sesame seed oil. I know that's probably fairly cheap. Brown sugar, and wow, water chestnuts you can't even get anymore because of the stupid plague. I mean, like, I'm just looking at all these ingredients and I'm going, I can't do squat with this. I will have to order it from a damn restaurant.
Move beef. Yeah, it's
Mm.
two
There's all
teaspoons
those peppers.
baking
I
soda.
actually made a stir fry yesterday that I almost made it too hot for even me.
Oops.
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh my! I haven't made a stir fry in a while. I may have to do that before this week is out. Well, if you start
Hmm.
your week on Sunday, then before the week is out. If you end it on Sunday, okay, before next week is out.
Oh yeah, someone in the chat, I'm not looking right now, so I forget who said it, said you can actually just buy Kung Pao sauce, and it does look like it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm looking on Amazon. I need to find a good Amazon alternative because I don't want to give Bezos my goddamn money, but everything is like everything's more expensive if you don't buy it on Amazon. Sometimes you just can't even find it.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, I don't know. I may have to look
let's
at
see
this.
here. Shopping. I'm just clicking on shopping on Google for Kung Pao sauce, and well, I guess you can get it from Target. Show only buy on Google. Right. Yeah, looks like you can just buy this stuff. And actually, if what I'm seeing is true, it's cheaper than buying it in the supermarket.
Okay.
Let's see, ships from and sold by Target. Wow. Now I wonder if this is spicy or if you have to add your own spice.
Oh man, that could get
Oh, no, here it
complicated.
says the Kung Pao sauce has a great flavor and a kick of spice.
Oh, so you don't
Ah,
necessarily have to go riding the worm.
yeah, okay, sure, whatever. Sorry, not a fan. You know I'm not a fan. I guess you'd have to add your own peanuts. I don't see peanuts in here, so yeah, you'd have to add your own. But it's orderable and it's like $3.70.
Hmm.
So there's that. Well, now I wonder. Let's see. I mean, if I add this to my cart and I go to my cart, let me. Okay, char siu sauce. Well, that looks cheaper than what you get on Amazon as well. I should start not using Amazon for a while.
Oh my.
Okay, that's from Instacart. Let's see. Seller. They don't have it at Target. Still.
That's another reason I want my damn government stimulus money to get here. I think I'm going to be needing a new microwave oven fairly soon.
I mean, actually, no, you know what? I should remove. I'm pretty sure one of the boxes I haven't opened yet is. Oh, damn it. The Kung Pao chicken sauce is sold out. I'm fairly certain that one of the items I have sitting in a box I haven't opened yet is more of that char siu sauce, so I don't have to buy any right now.
Okay then. Well, okay, at least it's a sauce in a jar that's in the box, and it's not a fresh sausage or anything that's in that box that's been sitting there for a couple of days.
Yeah, I don't think they sell that. I mean, one thing you can do with your Amazon wish list is see what's been purchased from it, and that char siu sauce is one of them. It's like a 2-pack of
Yeah.
them.
Now, there have been a couple people who have tried to send me stuff from my wish list, and I never got it. And I just quit advertising my wish list. I mean, if the shit's not going to get here, there's nothing I can do about it. So.
Oh, I've had that happen before, but other stuff does get here, so it's not worth not advertising your wish list. Besides, maybe it did arrive and you just didn't know because your neighbors swiped it.
could be, because yeah, I mean, normally you cannot get into the building unless you have a key. Yeah, they make it really easy to get deliveries here.
I wonder, because I have to start working on that, like some of those characters again, and I need to add more hairstyles because right now I only have 3, and one of them is specific to Quinn Redshift. So I have to go looking for. And of course, almost inevitably, you type in hair and you get women. And I'm right now designing male characters. I mean, female hair, feminine hair, I can do. That's easy. It's really easy to come up with that kind of hair. But more masculine hairstyles, I don't know. I mean, aside from head shaved or pretty much short, I don't know what else to do. I mean, I suppose I can give a guy a bald spot, but I figure in the future nobody's bald.
Oh, Amiga, you wonder about riding the worm.
It's from Dune.
It's a reference to Dune, yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. When you first said it, my brain went immediately to tequila. And then I went, no, wait, we're talking about spices. Duh.
Yeah, there you go. And it's really interesting, though. I don't much care for tequila.
Well, I mean, I don't care for it straight, but, you get, like, say, a margarita, and it's pretty tasty.
And maybe I could take a margarita. I haven't had a margarita, but yeah, straight tequila, no thanks. I mean, there are some things I will not drink. Scotch is not one of those things I will not drink, but,
Well, there are some things up with I will not put.
Yes.
Yes. But, no, I mean, I can't drink gin.
Okay.
Gin is so gross. It's bitter. Like, I might as well lick a driveway is how bitter it is.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
So gross. And, not a fan of scotch or bourbon either. They just aren't appealing. I don't get I like rum, especially Captain Morgan or Sailor Jerry.
Okay, then. Well, I have some interesting memories of consuming half a fifth of Bacardi 151 and thought I was Jonathan Livingston Seagull for the rest of the night.
Well, I've told you about the night of the 7 shots of Everclear.
Yes, you have. Oh, my word.
Yeah, that was the end of my alcohol tolerance. My body rebelled and said, okay, from now on, you're not drinking that much ever again. But, yeah, that's what having a crush on the person handing you your drinks will do to you.
Okay, then.
I'm just saying. So, I am going to get lunch.
Okay, then. Yeah. Nourish thyself and maintain thyself and, do not pass from this world due to hunger anyway.
Yeah. Although after sating my hunger, I might pass something else.
Okay, then.
Yeah, well, So, have fun. Catch you like the plague.
Take care, hon. And see what happens Tuesday. Yay!
Yay.
And we're back. Just to me, myself, and I, your host, Diana Clarion. Oh, yay. Oh, yay. Oh, yay. Well, we've been at this for 3.5 hours. So, excuse me. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Why am I doing all that? burping and stuff. I mean, all I had today was a bowl of Life cereal, so it's not that I've had anything that's treated me badly or anything like that. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Well, actually, when I say I had a bowl of Life cereal, actually I speak of the way I do the Life cereal thing. I think I've spoken of it before. Is get a bowl, pour the Life cereal into the bowl, pour the oh, look at that. Hang on, let me get rid of this grid. There we go. Pour the Life cereal into the bowl, pour the milk over the Life cereal, step aside for half an hour, and then come back and eat the resulting mush. Yeah, good stuff. I love it. Really, it's yummy and tasty and everything. People think I'm weird, and they're right. But it's just the way it goes. And okay, let's see. We've got, my word, we've still got 5 people here. I am amazed. But I want to thank everyone who's here. I want to thank everyone who's not here. I really do. Thank you, every one of you, for coming by, for watching this stuff. And I know you're all here to see Kate and Mom NATO, so you know, I can live with that. Glad to keep this going for you guys, and I'll keep it going as long as you keep coming. So it just gives me a reason to get out of bed on Sundays and Tuesdays. How's that sound? And we'll see what else is going on. Okay then. I just want to get everything all set up over here. There we go. And I will say, with all the love to you guys, and everything else, thanks a lot, troops. See you on the other side.